Boys in the back. Boys in the back.
We are back.
Boys.
Another episode of Boys in the Back. Do not adjust your dials. Don't change your TV channels. We're looking fly today. It is St. Stephen's Day tracksuit day early. We know it's not St. Stephen's Day. We know it's not Boxing Day. But we had to wear the tracksuits at some point on the show.
You're all the way zipped up. I feel like I gotta get up
if
there.
you're gonna rock the tracksuit,
I gotta. All right.
You gotta zip it all the way up. Have to shout out our guy Gavin Luking at Luking Photos on Instagram. He saw me, you, and PT talking about the tracksuits and decided to send these bad boys over. Mine is actually UFC branded, but it is Boys in the Back colors.
And mine naturally is
Black.
the iconic black
perfect.
that I am known for.
I got so excited about the tracksuits. If you don't know, I am Connor Burks. This is the great Eric Jackman joining me. Let's stand up and give a full body here for the people. I mean, look at it.
Oh man, you guys look great.
I mean,
look at that.
We look fucking cool.
Damn.
Today.
What time is tip off? Are you guys gonna make it on time? Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Look at
There
that.
it is. We look
Wow.
cool.
When does the album drop? Are we dropping the album soon or?
Album's coming soon.
Yeah, so we look pretty cool.
Very staticky though when you guys sat back down.
We'll be
Thanks, Frank.
re-wearing this on December 26th in honor of St. Stephen's Day and the great Pizzi Carroll.
Shout out to Pizzi for inspiring, and then shout out to our boy Gavin for
Shout out to
sending
our
it
boy
through.
Gavin Luking, for real, man. Came through quickly, too, with the swiftness. Got it in before the year was out and before St. Stephen's Day. Gloomy one today in New York, as you can see behind me. A little bit cloudy outside, a little bit
Apocalyptic.
cold. Atomic bomb, or no, Arctic bomb, I think is what the Weather Channel was calling it. Not the
Just to be clear, a bomb has not gone off in the city.
Arctic bomb has hit New York City. Sorry about that, folks. Yeah, it's a cold one today in New York. But we have a great show planned for you. UFC Tampa Bay, pound for pound rankings, holiday, Christmas movies, however you want to categorize that. Your questions, we will answer your questions on the back end. Hop in the chat, any super chats, everything like that. Before we get into all of that, man, we talked about it on the ArielHelwani show yesterday. It was a big night for the whole squad, the whole crew.
Kinda. I mean, I feel like some more than others. Some were present for the festivities, and some were not.
Well, it depends what the festivities were.
Who, me? Yeah,
Our man
definitely
Ariel
Frank.
ripped the Knicks game.
Shout out.
With Big Action Bronson. I mean, just mingling among the
Just a
stars
light flex.
courtside. While my Hawks just embarrassed them in front of a Madison Square Garden crowd.
Trey has a way of doing that, doesn't
I went to book club. You went to the holiday party.
I did.
Frank, what'd you end up doing?
None of those things.
Yeah, what did you do, though?
So a friend of mine was in town for her holiday party, and I ended up hanging out with her. Only get to see people so many times a year.
So you
cool. You could have just brought
you
us
hung
up.
out with a woman who was in town for her holiday party
But didn't go to
by
ours.
skipping your holiday party?
Absolutely.
Unbelievable.
I would do it again tonight if the option was available.
I think you do it again every single day of the week. I just don't think you want to
I'm not
go
going to
to a holiday
lie.
party.
Not really a big holiday party guy, but I am really looking forward to our holiday party next Thursday.
I'm sure you'll be there, Frank.
Be there or be square.
We have
Please
our
don't
own.
wear the tracksuits, though. It's the attire is formal.
I actually think you just think we look too cool.
Yeah, you're jealous.
We're walking around the office in these tracksuits, like amongst all these people in great tailored suits for Yahoo Finance. And then there's us, and I got a lot of looks.
Yeah,
I got a lot of
there's people eyeing. They know what's up.
By eyeing, you mean like they rolled their eyes into the back of their head.
What? Where is this coming from, Frank? Where's this coming from? Tell me. Get
What is
something
this
off your
vitriol,
chest,
man?
Is that not what happened?
No, that's
One
not
guy
what
said,
happened.
sick tracksuit, man. You got that for St. Stephen's Day? I was like, oh, shit. Yeah, dude. You know about St. Stephen's Day?
And it was Pizzi. Pizzi was sitting in the office.
PT flew in for the holiday party. All right, so the holiday party.
Yes.
I wasn't there. I need the review. How was it?
It was incredible. It was a great venue. What was it called? Pine Lawn?
Lawn Club.
Lawn Club.
Wasn't even there, and I knew what it was called.
It was a great venue. Lots of games. They had the beer pong, but it was trash bins where you're throwing it in. Like it was.
I love it.
was,
Like you're shooting like a full-size
shooting
basketball.
hoops.
Yeah.
I will neither confirm nor deny smoking Jordan in said game. There was like a little frisbee toss. Again, I played against our mutual friend Cole Gardner. Shout out to Cole, who works here at Yahoo. I will neither confirm nor deny dominating her in that as well.
Yeah, I would imagine she's garbage at that.
Oh boy! All right, Cole. You take that up with Connor later. Myself, Andy Jordan, leaving the office after you going to your book club. Frank abstaining from all activities. Friend in town, that type of deal. Ariel at the Knicks game. Myself, Jordan, Andy make our way over. Run into lots of friends. We saw Kate. We saw Mackenzie. We saw Cole, as I mentioned. We saw the great Ben Stark. We saw Steph. We saw Ariel. We saw...
Not Helwani.
Ryan Spoon. We saw Jen. We saw... I said Steph already. Come on, Jordan. Stop trying to get me all confused
How
here.
many of these people do you think now, after hanging out with them yesterday, are watching today? None.
No new watchers, I don't think.
We're giving these call-outs, these shout-outs just into the ether.
Yeah, but, it feels like the right thing to do. It was a great night. Then we went across the street to a little after-hour spot, had some drinks, and then made our way home. It was quite nice.
Fight Eye still open.
Yeah, it was open till like 2.
Damn.
Wow. Closed it down.
We closed it down.
Shut it down. Let's go. I had a very different evening.
Shout out Jeremy's Ale House.
Oh, shout out to JAH. Everyone knows it down in Fight Eye.
Everyone knows it.
Yeah, big jaw. I had a very different evening. Book club.
Everyone show up to the book club, or did some people
I don't
miss
know
it for their holiday party?
It's kind of a, come if you want. It's not a hard line of who's in and who's out.
Table.
Yeah, I mean,
they
put
that's why you
everywhere.
had to be there, though.
Well, I am the host of it. I am the founder.
You've come up with it. You've created
every
this.
Month. I thought it was like on rotation, and this.
No,
was your
I started it. I was like, man, I want some new friends, so I started
let me
it.
check my text here. Nope, was never invited.
Dude,
I like reading, right?
I don't waste my invites. I don't waste my breath. I know you're not coming to where I live.
I don't blame you. Yeah, it's probably a good call. I can still read it and text in my responses.
Well, it's funny you say that. The next month's book is Dark Matter. That's what me and the women of the book club decided on.
Oh, I thought we were doing
Shout
Andy
out.
Weir.
I wish we were doing Andy Weir. That's what I pushed for. I got overpowered.
I should have been in on the vote.
The people at my book club chose.
Frank is doing the Helwani right now, where he's pushing hard to pretend that he wants to be included here, and just has no interest in this.
We were talking about this earlier. I was like, Andy Weir, yeah, I'm all about it. And now we're doing Dark Matter. That's cool.
Now where are you in the
It
book
was
club?
already voted on last night, Frank.
I get you. Yes.
Yeah.
So Frank,
Democratic.
we can count on you being at the next one.
No chance.
Remotely.
No chance. There's no way he's coming.
No, I don't believe it.
We'll offline.
Yeah, so that was my Wednesday night. It was a nice, it was a discussion. It was great. I'm glad the party went well. I'm glad. I hope
We missed you. And you, Frank, and you, Helwani.
Honestly, it was my own fault because I decided that the book club would be the same night as the holiday party.
Oh, it's not always a Wednesday. It's like you get to.
Yeah, but we
change it.
decided like a month out, and I just didn't do the math. I didn't do the math. I hope Helwani had fun at the next game. Even though they lost to my Atlanta Hawks, it's all good. Knocked out of the NBA Cup. It is
The prestigious NBA Cup.
Yeah. All right. That was our Wednesday. Thursday, though, we will now spend previewing UFC Tampa Bay. Before we get to that, we are happy to announce that we are partnering with NordVPN. Why use NordVPN? It is the fastest VPN in the world. No buffering or lagging while streaming, and stops your ISP from throttling your bandwidth. NordVPN protects your private information like bank details, passwords, and online identity, including while you're traveling and using public Wi-Fi. Plus, one NordVPN account, that'll get you 10 devices. It's premium cybersecurity for the price of a cup of coffee per month. To get the best discount off your NordVPN plan, go to nordvpn.com/uncrowned. Our link will also give you 4 extra months on the 2-year plan. There's no risk with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Shout out to NordVPN. We appreciate their support just as much as we appreciate yours. All right, this weekend.
Wait, before we get into that.
Yeah.
I forgot Anthony. Shout out Anthony.
Oh, shout out to Anthony. We know you're not watching it.
No, that's why.
Oh,
this
Anthony's
shout out
watching.
is important. Anthony will be watching.
And the biggest shout out of all.
Shout out to Anthony. He's a
one
wrestling fan who helps out on the Uncrowned wrestling stuff. Watches the show. That would have been a big blunder on my part.
The one guy that would.
The one guy who is
watch.
actually going to watch it. Yeah.
These other people have never even heard of the boys in the back, and you're just like, shout out, we love you so much.
Yep.
Into nothing, and then the one guy who's praying for the waiting for the shout out. You forgot to.
Oh, also about Anthony, MTG player. Shout out to my MTG player.
MTG player. Becky Lynch also an MTG
player.
Shout out,
getting into the
Becky.
game. getting into the game.
Maybe I'll have to download MTG.
How about
This is dangerous here.
I have some of the Lord of the Rings cards for
The physicals?
The physicals.
Oh, Andy was
brought it
talking
up
about
yesterday.
those.
I was going to
Yeah.
bring them in, and whoever wants to learn how to play will teach you how to play.
Wow, Frank, I love
Look
this.
at that.
Frank, if we did Lord of the Rings for book club, would you come?
Absolutely, but I've already read it, so like, what are
Well,
you
the
gonna
book
do?
club is more about the discussion, unless I'm wrong, right? Isn't
Yeah,
it?
but
Isn't it more?
When you have
It's
a
about the
scholar
discussion,
like me,
couple
it'll be
glasses
like,
of
well,
wine.
actually, you know,
a good time.
Tom Bombadil was actually, you know,
Is that a character?
yeah, the real. See, this is how you could tell who has read it and who hasn't. When they're
Yeah,
like,
I've
Tom,
not.
who?
I have not.
We were joined by a former English professor last night. I was like,
Oh,
wow,
nice.
we're really coming up in this world.
Was
All
he
right,
wearing-
UFC Tampa Bay. We're done with what we did on our Wednesday evenings. UFC Tampa Bay headlined by Colby Covington and Joaquin Buckley. Was supposed to be Ian Gary versus Joaquin Buckley. Obviously, you know the story. Ian Gary stepping up on short notice to take on Shavkat Rakhmonov last week. This is a great fight. It's good to see Colby back after a year away. Last time we saw him was against Leon Edwards, obviously failing to win the title on his third shot at becoming undisputed champion. What I find most interesting about this fight is where these guys lay in the rankings and what happens to them afterwards with both a win or a loss. Obviously, Colby Covington is going to bang the drum for him getting another title shot. He came out yesterday at Media Day and he said, "My name is always in title contention. I'm the biggest name in the sport. There's no stars in this division. It's just a bunch of bums. I think after Saturday night, I am next in line for the title shot." Do you agree with that?
I think Colby or Buckley with a win would be next after Shavkat. I do believe that.
Really?
Yeah. What do you think?
All right. So I actually think the way that you play this is whoever wins this fight, you give to Ian Gary in Dublin, and the winner of that gets a title shot. I just don't know how we could give Colby Covington, who at like the current time being is 2-3 in his last 5 fights over the last 5 years, has had 3 chances at the title, has not been successful in any of them. Now finds himself, I think he's ranked like 6th or something right now. And then he's going to get a win over the number 9 guy and get a title shot off that. I mean, like especially at welterweight, when there is so much competition to get this title shot, I don't think that would spring him in to fight whoever wins Bilal versus Shavkat.
Here's why I think it might. You make a great point, and I agree with most of those points. Here's why I think it might. There's limited time for this Colby Covington thing to continue, right? And this is kind of the story of this fight for me. I think there's diminishing returns on the Colby Covington gimmick when he's not fighting for championships. If he's just another guy on the roster, if he's just a guy who's fighting in the middle of the pack, this troll stuff, this like trying to irritate people just doesn't matter. It doesn't work as well. And I think we even see that this week. I think we're even seeing like a reduction in the kind of attention toward the Colby Covington shtick. Certainly I see, clips floating out there. You mentioned some of the stuff that he's already said this week.
Yeah, I mean, we like. I think the first thing he addressed when he sat down at the media day was LeBron.
Yeah,
he's like, "What you mean by that one tweet? 12 years ago, LeBron."
It feels like it's having less of an impact. And when you're Colby Covington, if you are not fighting in championship fights, if you are not at the top of this division now, like if we look at Colby Covington's recent run, right? Kamaru Usman was a title opportunity. Tyron Woodley was like a rivalry match. There was a thing going on. Kamaru Usman title. Jorge Masvidal rivalry match. Leon Edwards title. Joaquin Buckley just doesn't have that thing with Colby, right? Like there's not that kind of tension, nor is there a title on the line. Once he starts falling out of the picture, I am not sure that this Colby Covington stuff is going to work as well. And as I said, I think we're already seeing that. So if you're the UFC, maybe you look at it and go, we got one more out of this. We can squeeze one more Colby Covington fighting for a title, talking all his noise stuff. But an Ian Gary fight has that rivalry element, so that's a good kind of thing. That's a good direction to go if you want to give him one more. So I'm open to either of those options. I just don't think there's not a clear person who would jump in front of the winner of this fight. It would only be they have to fight Ian Gary. That would be the only scenario. There's not somebody who's like knocking on the door that's above any of these guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to give it to him, especially with Ian coming off the loss to Shavkat. I think it would line it up perfectly with...
It would be great.
You get either, we were supposed to fight at Tampa if Joaquin Buckley wins, or this rivalry of like they kind of
Yo,
both
we were
hate
supposed
each
to
other.
fight 15 times because I've called you out forever, and then you called me out, and we never fought.
Exactly. And Colby in Dublin, if that's where the fight happened, would be tremendous.
Yeah.
Especially him going against an Irish fighter. I just feel like that could sell tickets, put asses in seats. And then he has a rightful claim to getting back to the title shot. I think it would be
makes a lot of
ridiculous.
sense.
Like I think it would be borderline blasphemous. I'm trying to think of a strong enough word. If he beat Joaquin Buckley and got a title shot.
Oh, I could
if he
so
got the
easily
winner
see it.
of Bilal. I don't think he really even deserved the Leon title shot. He has
No.
0 ranked wins right now. He currently has 0 ranked wins. Also, like this one, like Leon is still above him, and Leon has a win over him. So I don't think he should get a title shot after that. And then, like, you have real talented contenders in JDM and Sean Brady. And, like, then we're not 100% sure where Usman stands right now. And Usman obviously has the wins over Colby Covington as well. I think there's so many arguments to be made that this win, there's no shot that he should get a title shot after this.
As we know, timing is everything. When these opportunities arise and when that title is going to be defended next. Now, we have some time, right? Because Shavkat and Bilal still need to handle business. Who knows what happens then, right? Like Leon Edwards could get a huge win, and all of a sudden he's back in that conversation. You mentioned Kamaru Usman. There's lots of things that could happen between now and then. But would I be shocked if Colby Covington's next fight, if he wins, was for a title? No. Like, it's just...
Would I be shocked? I have to agree. I would say no, but I think it would just be so undeserving. Like, I just think there's too many guys at welterweight to give him the shot.
The one thing we know about Colby, though, is sometimes he's willing to wait to see how things shake out.
Yeah.
Right? And so let's say Leon loses, or let's say Ian Gary takes another fight and he loses. Now it just clears that way for Colby to slide in there if the timing's right. So I think there's a long time between now and when this would come to fruition, when we'd potentially even be thinking about this. So we'll have to see how this all plays out. But it just feels like there's one more opportunity here with a Colby Covington kind of title fight, and maybe you take advantage of it.
I guess the argument also are Colby Covington title shots, do they just do insano buys?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. It's a great question. I really don't know how Colby Covington is as a pay-per-view draw and a star for the company. What I do know is he was gifted a title shot against Leon Edwards for seemingly not much of a reason. So that tells me that there has to be something there.
Yeah.
But you're right to ask that question. I actually don't know the answer to that.
All right, let me lay out essentially the top 6 at welterweight and how we're going to match make them. Okay?
Sure. I love this.
You disagree with me if you please.
Hit me.
We go winner of Joaquin Buckley versus Colby Covington against Ian Gary in Dublin.
Great fight.
You go Leon versus Sean Brady in London, main event. You go Usman versus JDM in Australia. Let's go ahead and get that one on the books for February. And then Shavkat versus Bilal for the title.
What do you do with the winner of JDM and the winner of...
the winner of the JDM Usman and the winner of Leon Brady?
Leon.
That's where it gets tricky. That's sort of my argument, is that there's so many guys at welterweight that, like, think about how many guys at welterweight that if their next fight is a victory, they will be calling for a title shot.
There's a lot.
Whoever Sean Brady fights next.
Now. They're all calling
That's
now.
what I'm saying. Whoever Sean Brady fights next, if he wins, he's calling for a title. Whoever Leon fights next, if he wins, he's calling for a title. Ian Gary calling for a title. Colby Covington this weekend, if he beats Joaquin Buckley, will be calling for a title. Usman calling for a title. JDM calling for a title. Like, all these guys, if they win their next fight, will be like, it's my time to get a title shot.
This is why I think Colby will also call for a title. And
of course he's going to call for a title, but I think it would just be ludicrous for him to get one.
That is the story of Colby's career. It is ludicrous.
Any matchmaking differentials that you would have?
Those are great. I love all those. I mean, I could buy even a Ian Gary versus Leon Edwards. I think that would be a great fight.
Yeah, sure. Those are interchangeable.
A lot of these are interchangeable. Like, I could buy a Sean Brady versus Kamaru Usman fight too. Like, there's
some sick grappling.
There's all kinds of like these permutations that I'd say. I like the way you have lined them up. I'm in on those.
Yeah. All right. Now let's go to the flip side of this whole conversation. We've been talking as if Colby Covington won the fight on Saturday.
Yeah.
What happens if he loses the fight? Then he will be 2-4 in his last 6 over the last 5 years. He will be 0-3 in title fights. And now he was number 6 and he had just lost to number 9. He'll fall even further in the rankings. He's not a spry chicken. Like, he's 36. Like, where do we go from there?
I think that will be a dramatic blow to the Colby Covington brand. Because, as I said, like, I think his gimmick is most viable when he's in top fights, when he's really against rivals, top contenders, like in the conversation. If it's Colby versus middle of the pack, like I really don't know how much appeal there is in that, and I wonder if he recognizes that same thing. I wonder if he just goes, if I'm not getting back to the title, or if I'm not fighting in these big headlining fights, like what am I doing? I could see a world where that's the end of Colby Covington as like a main attraction. Is it the end of his career? Does he like hang him up? That I don't know, right? Like he hasn't fought that frequently in recent years, so it's not like he could very easily come back for one fight a year. Like it's not like he's the super active guy and all of a sudden to go from super high pace to not at all. So I don't think it'd be too hard for him to get fights, but I just wonder like is he the Colby Covington that the UFC has banked on for so long? I don't think so. I think that would kind of be the end of it.
So you're saying like Colby Covington, Jeff Neal.
What is that? Who's that valuable to? Like does that do anything for Colby? Does that do anything for the UFC?
Colby Covington, Michael Moraes.
Oh, well, that one could be because then you could put somebody over, right? Like on the name of Colby Covington.
Colby
but like
Covington, Carlos Prates.
That's one that you could put somebody over. But if I'm Colby, is that the guy I want to fight?
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying all of this from Colby's standpoint.
Do I want to fight Michael Morales or Carlos Prates? Like those are killers that do nothing to get me closer to the title shot because they're not ranked, they're not highly ranked, they're not the big enough names. He has enjoyed a very favorable run at staying near the top of the division with limited activity, and so I just don't know what would be in there for him anymore.
Colby versus Gilbert Burns.
Sure.
I'm kind of with you. I'm kind of just shrugging my shoulder at all of these. It feels like he needs to get back in the win column.
He needs desperately to be in a title conversation. Otherwise, as I said, the gimmick doesn't work that well, nor does the lack of activity, nor does any of the Colby Covington things. It just feels like it falls apart at that point. So he needs to win desperately, in my opinion.
All right, on the flip side of that, man, Joaquin Buckley, dude.
Yeah.
With a win, Joaquin Buckley would be 6-0 at welterweight, 4-0 in 2024. I think he would only be like one of, I know Charles Johnson, I believe is 4-0.
Very limited.
It's like there's only a few people that have gone 4-0 in 2024, and Joaquin would join the ranks of that. And like you talk about a turnaround, man. Dude was riding a 2-fight losing streak entering 2023, moves up to welterweight, and now could find himself 6-0. And I guess he wouldn't be top 5. He would take Colby's ranking. He would move to 6 with a win, in my opinion. And now we're talking about one more, and this dude is fighting for the title at 170.
I've been extremely impressed with welterweight Buckley. Like he's looked like this is the division he should have been in all along. Like the skills are there. You think what you want about the mic skills. Like some people like it, some people don't. I'm more of a sure, throw whatever at the wall, and if it sticks, it sticks. I don't necessarily feel like he's made too many critical errors. Right now, he's in a headlining matchup against Colby Covington. He's done something right, clearly.
He's gotten the attention.
Attention.
Whether it's calling out Conor McGregor, whether it's whatever it is, like, asking for a fight at the UFC 300 press conference, stuff like that, like, it is working. He is getting the eye of who's making these fights.
People are paying attention to Joaquin Buckley because of the mic stuff, but also, man, the performances have been there.
Fantastic.
Like, he is on it right now. And even when, what was the last fight? He was down.
Stephen Wonderboy Thompson.
Wonderboy was winning that fight, in my opinion, and he found a way in the third. I've just been extremely impressed because Wonderboy is getting up there in years, but he is a tough style matchup for a lot of different guys. And what we saw with Joaquin was how good the grappling can be, how good he is at mixing all the different phases. I'm impressed with Joaquin, man. Like I think he is a title contender type fighter at welterweight.
Yeah, man. And like before he made this move, he was 5-4 in the UFC. Just kind of like middle of the road. Ho hum, like people excited to watch him fight just because like he has knockout power and stuff. But
he had the craziest knockout you'll ever see in life.
Yeah, like
that carried him for a while.
Yeah, but like he did have like some nice knockout of Jordan Wright, Antonio Arroyo. I mean, there was a time where he had won like 6 straight fights by way of knockout. So like he has that power. But like now we're getting serious about Joaquin Buckley.
That is so secondary now. All that like knockout stuff is like not even mentioned. Now he is a true blue prospect contender type guy, and it's really been like career rejuvenation for him coming down to this division.
And to the fight itself, We said that Colby Covington desperately needs a win here, like to continue staying at the top of the
pile. So you agree with that, by the way? I more said that, and
yes, he needs to win this fight, like to stay essentially like relevant within the welterweight division, and like you are making the point perfectly that like he needs to be relevant for like the shtick, for the gimmick. Like no one wants to hear him get on these podcasts and be like, I am the biggest star in the UFC. Watch me fight Jeff Neal this weekend. In second fight on the main card of a fight night. Like where like it
doesn't work.
He needs to be at the top of the pile. Yes, we're on the same page. But to the fight itself, he's a fairly sized underdog right now. Minus 265 for Joaquin Buckley, plus 225 for Colby Covington. And I guess I get it because Joaquin Buckley is on a 5-fight win streak. We haven't seen Colby Covington in a year. He's 36 now. He did not look good at all in that Leon Edwards fight. I know he had the injury in the first round, but like was not a good performance. And the way Joaquin has been looking, like people expect him to get this done and continue the winning streak.
The last time we saw Colby Covington was by far his worst performance. Like, not.
Do you attribute that to the injury?
I don't know, man. Like, it's hard for me. Like, here's the problem with your heel gimmick at times. If you're Colby Covington and everything is character, everything is pro wrestling heel shit, then when you say I was injured and I wasn't fighting to the best of my capability, everybody thinks that's heel shit too. So you don't know, like, was he really like hurt? What? I certainly believe he was hampered. He just did not look like himself. He did not look like Colby Covington. But he is also getting older in years. He also does not compete very frequently. Leon Edwards is a good fighter. And so it could be a confluence of all those things. And he could look maybe better in this fight against Buckley. But I don't know how, like, I don't know what to make of that, if I'm being honest. I really don't know what to make of what he has said about why that fight went the way it did. Regardless, as many people have said in the past, guys come in banged up all the time. Guys suffer injuries in fights all the time. They don't always look that bad. He looked horrible. It was a bad performance. We've heard rumblings of Shavkat having an MCL injury in his fight against Ian Gary. He did not look as good as Shavkat usually looks, but he didn't look that bad. He didn't look like what we saw from Colby Covington. He looked like a lessened version of Shavkat. And so I don't know. It very well may have been the thing hampering him and making him not perform to his ability. But I don't know if that's a big enough excuse, in my opinion, for how bad that performance was. And so I have no confidence in Colby Covington coming into this fight. I'm quite confident that Joaquin Buckley is going to show up for the biggest thing that's ever going to happen in his career to this point. Because if he gets the win here, unequivocally, we're talking about him in title contention. One away. Next, if things break the right way, again, I'm kind of laying out that, like, I think any of these guys could kind of be next if things break properly. But he's there now if he wins this fight. And so I think he will show up the best version we've seen because this is the biggest opportunity of his life.
1,000%, man. And Colby Covington has said that he's going to come out here and drown him. He hasn't done the 5 rounds and everything like this. I think Joaquin Buckley is going to come in excellent shape, to your point. And
I mean, dude's physique is like freaky.
Aesthetically, he is always jacked. Like, he is always looking insane. But I'm talking about being in the shape to go
cardio,
hard 25 minutes, because Colby Covington can do that.
Yep.
We can say whatever we want. That man can go 25 minutes.
The cardio is never in question.
He prides himself on being the king of cardio at welterweight. But I think with the way Joaquin Buckley, especially the way he's been fighting lately, he's gotten 8 takedowns in his last 2 fights, racking up control time. He used it in the Wonderboy Thompson fight. He used it in the Nursultan-Ruzabayev fight as well. Like, I don't think Colby's going to be able to come out here and just wrestle him. Like, we think of Joaquin as this knockout guy, but I think he has the capabilities, the complete game, to strike and be better than Colby, to hurt Colby on the feet, but also be able to handle himself in the ground game. And like, I think he's fully equipped to get this fight done.
The grappling against Wonderboy made me quite confident that he will be on par with Colby Covington in the grappling. Now, is Colby ultimately going to be able to grind him the way? Like, Colby Covington's style is not a secret. Colby Covington has the same exact style in every single fight, and it's a very effective style. Put the pace on you, throw some punches that are not going to knock you out but really bother you, and then get you up against the cage and try and dump you on your back. Like, that is Colby Covington's style. Is he going to have success doing that against Joaquin Buckley? I'm pretty skeptical, if I'm being honest. The last performance inspired no confidence, and I just think as more people have been able to watch Colby Covington and study that tape, it gets harder to execute that when they know that is your game plan, because he does not have another path to victory. He's not going to knock out Joaquin Buckley. He's probably not going to submit Joaquin Buckley, and so he has to do that grind. It's a very difficult thing. Colby's skill set is extremely impressive to have pulled this off for as long as he did, because it is a wear and tear style. It is a style that is very difficult to execute for 25 minutes, and he has been doing that for a long time. I just don't. After the last performance and what I think of Joaquin Buckley at welterweight, I just don't see it. I just can't see it. I understand this line because I think Joaquin's going to have the tools to defend it.
All right, so official prediction.
Buckley knockout late.
Okay. I was going to say Buckley decision, but I guess
possible.
I guess that brings up a good point of like the style for Colby Covington is to grind on you, is to wear on you, and like he thrives in those 25-minute affairs. Do you think Joaquin Buckley can win a decision?
I think he can win a decision for sure, but I see more likely. I think this will be when the armor starts to chip for Colby Covington, and he's facing just a younger, hungrier guy that in the later rounds is going to finish him. That's my prediction. Now, I'm not like, this is not a take it to the bank type prediction. This is not a lock type thing.
Of course not.
Buckley has been known to not finish at times, right? Like there's times where he's just being technical and landing significant strikes throughout, but not necessarily loading up on the punches and looking for that knockout. I think he's going to be some of my read on this is thinking that he's going to be so unbothered by Colby Covington's strikes that he's going to get pretty comfortable and be in a flow and be able to knock him out. Decision's probably the safer pick, right? I think there's a real world.
Colby is very tough. Like
Colby's extremely tough.
Yeah. Say anything you want about him.
No, he is
dude can
tough.
Go long, and dude is tough.
The cardio and the toughness are unquestionable. That is it. And if he was truly suffering through the foot injury that he says he was, and I have no reason to not believe that, he lasted the full rounds with Leon Edwards there as well. Like he is extremely tough. I do think we're now getting up there in age. We're now getting up there in miles, and Joaquin Buckley, as we're looking at the tail of the tape, is just going to be better, in my opinion, everywhere this fight goes. And I think especially late, if I'm being honest, I think Joaquin Buckley's going to come in tremendous shape. If it's not clear, I'm an extremely big believer in Joaquin Buckley. I really think this guy is putting it all together at the right time right now.
My official prediction, I'm going to go Joaquin Buckley via decision.
Close, or is he just like piecing him up?
48-47 on one scorecard, 49-46 on two.
So one of those where it's like not really in the balance, but like one guy scores it a little closer.
Well, yeah, one guy had it like, oh, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But I think it's going to be a fun fight. I think it will be entertaining.
I'm trying to visualize Colby Covington just like pressing Buckley, and I just can't see it.
Well, that's what I think is going to happen. I think the inverse of what you said. I think Buckley's going to get to a point where he's kind of unbothered by the offense that Colby's supplying him on the feet.
Yeah.
And he's just going to press him.
Oh, Buckley's going to press Colby. He's going to put him up
on
against
the feet at least.
Yeah, I could see that.
All right, that's the main event. Very interesting stakes in the welterweight division. Very curious as to see what's going to happen.
Important fight.
2025 at welterweight. We know that Shavkat is fighting Bilal. Beyond that, we know essentially nothing.
But we know that these matchups are going to be great no matter how they shake out.
Whoever wins this fight is going to, in my opinion, be ranked 6th. So then you'll be looking at Bilal is the champ, Shavkat is the contender to be, Leon is there, Usman is there, JDM is there, Sean Brady is there, and the winner of this fight, so Buckley or Covington is there. Those 6, those 7, I guess, because you're including Bilal. It's just this beautiful symphony of like matchmaking that can be had.
Yes, but then you also, as we were doing that exercise earlier, are talking about Praches and Michael Morales and like these guys who are just like incredible that I think will be in those type of fights.
I also forgot to say Ian Gary. So it's 8. So you have the title with Shavkat and Bilal, and then you have Leon, Usman, JDM, Sean Brady, winner of Covington, Buckley, Ian Gary. Yeah, and then like you
Praches
just said,
is right there. Like
Praches is 13.
Yeah,
Michael Morales is 12. Like both those guys get a win, and like now we're talking. Do we just like
welterweight's like sneaky one of the best? If we get the influx of youth and we start turning over some of the rankings and we see the Kamaros, the Leons, the Colbys start to drop down in the rankings and we see some of the new blood start to rise up, this division is going to be fun for quite a few years.
Michael Page still hanging around at 15 as well.
Man.
Michael Morales versus Michael Page.
I've been sleeping on welterweight.
Carlos Prates versus Michael Page. Like,
hell yeah. I've been sleeping.
Or do we just say fuck it? Someone's got to go.
No,
Prates versus
please
Morales.
No. Please no.
Save him.
No,
Save
please
him?
don't do that.
Yeah, welterweight's deep, man. Welterweight's deep, and like a lot of exciting fights. And now like a lot of these dudes have personality as well, which is huge. For
Good characters, yeah. Man, I've been sleeping. I didn't know welterweight crept like this.
Time to wake up, man. Time to wake up. And we've got the title locked up, too. And you could have a potential undefeated star on your hands as champion come next year.
Yeah, if Shavkat can get it done.
So 170 is one to watch in 2025, certainly. Let's go to the co-main event. Cub Swanson, legend, Hall of Famer Cub Swanson.
Hall of Famer Cubs. Wait, where did we net out? Didn't we do a poll?
We netted out. Duho Choi's a Hall of Famer, and he had a Hall of Fame performance last week.
He did have oh my God, what a performance. Cub and Duho Choi, we're going to say Hall of Famers.
Versus Billy Q. Much less stakes when it comes to this fight, but like all the makings of just like a fun two dudes that will go after it, that can get finishes, can be finished, and just put on paces that are incredibly exciting. Perfect co-main event.
I think they will both rise to the occasion here. I think they know that like this is a spot where
Billy Q, a Tampa guy too.
Oh, that's
he's like fighting
right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
You put on a good show here. It's everything you need to kind of keep some momentum going. So I think they'll both rise to the occasion here. Stylistically, I think it's a great fight. I'm a fan of a lot of fights on this card, but I see why this is a co-main event worthy fight.
And since December of 2020, Billy Q has just kind of been like on and off. Like he lost to Gavin Tucker, beat Gabriel Benitez, lost to Shane Burgos, beat Alexander Hernandez, lost to Edson Barbosa, beat Damon Jackson, lost to Yusuf Zalal. No shame in that. And now he gets Cub Swanson. So he's just been on off. So he's due for a win.
And that's right. The alternating is working in his favor, but also just like no names on there that you're like, oh, like he's been fighting tough dudes, and I think this is another example. Like Cub Swanson is long in the tooth certainly, but he's such a scrapper. He's such a gamer. This is a real like competitive fight and a real opportunity for Billy Q to say, okay, I'm riding the ship. I'm getting back on track. I got a name on my resume now that really matters in Cub Swanson, or for Cub to be like, yeah, don't push me out the door just yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Billy Q, you said long in the tooth. Billy Q 36 as well. Cub Swanson 41. So, like, this isn't the youngest age matchup we've ever seen. And actually, someone's alternating record has to go. On Saturday. Cub beat Daniel Pineda, lost to Giga Chikadze, beat Darren Elkins, lost to Jonathan Martinez, beat Hakeem Dawodu, lost to Andre Fili in a split decision. So, someone is due for a win.
I think he won that one, right? That was a close one?
Yeah, very close. Split decision. That was back on UFC 303, I think, International Fight Week. So yeah, not a ton to say other than I can't wait for that. That's going to be a great fight that's going to deliver. Third fight down on the main card. This one I actually am very intrigued by. Manel Kape taking on Bruno Silva. Manel Kape, we thought he was going to get a title shot. He seemed to be the next guy in line. It was just like written in the stars. He takes on Muhammad Mokaev. He unfortunately drops that one. Now Muhammad Mokaev gets the boot out of the UFC. So now he can't get a title shot. And obviously, over the last few years, Manel Kape, I think he's had like 7 fight cancellations. Like, exciting guy who shows personality, that connects with the fans, that is obviously very talented. We saw him fight in Ryzen, become a champion over in Ryzen. Now he gets Bruno Silva, who, he's on a 4-fight win streak. He's ranked, but like he's still not a big name. We talked about Colby Covington title shot, everything like that. At flyweight, man, Alexandre Pantoja is looking for an opponent. Manel Kape gets a massive win this weekend. Knocks Bruno Silva out, gets on the mic, calls out Alexandre Pantoja. Do you think that matters, or do you think he's too far from the title?
I definitely think it matters because Kape is somebody who I believe is championship worthy. I think he can be a champion. I think there's a lot of people out here who were ready to push him in that direction. Unfortunately, he dropped the one fight you can't drop against Muhammad Mokaev. That was going to be the one to propel him to title contention. But as you just astutely laid out, Alexandre Pantoja is dying for contenders.
Anyone, please.
Just anyone who can give him a challenge. The unfortunate news for Manel Kape and Alexandre Pantoja is that he has a win over Manel Kape. And just like as with everybody else, he just continues. He has wins over everybody. There is nobody in this division left other than, I believe, Kai Kara France, where it's like, okay, I guess this is the new matchup. And that's no disrespect to Kai Kara France, who I think is a great fighter as well and has been in, I believe it was an interim title situation against Brandon Moreno. But there's nobody here that anybody is going, I need to see this person fight for the title against Alexandre Pantoja because he's beaten all of them. It is slim pickings out there, but I think Kape has a real opportunity here. If he can put on a great performance, and he's been known to knock some people out and establish himself and show what he can do, it puts you in the line. It puts you in the conversation. You're probably one away just because of how slim pickings the division is.
Okay, perfect. You just said one away. Here's how I lay this out. Here is my plan for this one, because Alexandre Pantoja has a win over everyone, and I know it was on Tough, but like he does also have a win over Kai Kara France, and Kai Kara France.
That's right, he does on Tough.
Yeah, on Tough. I know it was on Tough, but like they did fight, and he did win the fight. And also like Kai Kara France, I am a Kai Kara France fan. Like, don't blink, baby.
Oh yeah.
But he's 1-2 in his last 3. I know he's coming off of a big knockout win over Steve Erceg, but like if you just look at the rankings, like he has lost to Amir Albazi and Brandon Moreno, who are ahead of him. And they're not going to get a title shot because they've already lost to Alexandre Pantoja. The way that I lay it out is that if Manel Kape wins this fight on Saturday, especially in emphatic fashion, you book this fight that has heat between them. They don't like each other. They've had their moments. You do Manel Kape versus Kai Kara France as like a title eliminator. Winner gets another shot at the belt. Winner gets a shot at Alexandre Pantoja. And that's how you move forward.
What the hell do you do with Pantoja in the meantime? Take a break, just chill, Alexandre.
You say, listen, Kai, you're 1-2 in your last 3. You want the shot. You fight Manel Kape early 2025, and then you fight again at International Fight Week against Pantoja. Manel, you want to fight Pantoja. You want a shot at the belt. You got to fight Kai Kara France. Yeah. Get to the fight.
Yeah.
And win the fight. No. Fight Kai Kara France early 2025, and then fight Alexandre Pantoja International Fight Week. But then you have like Brandon Royval, who's just like, dude, I beat everyone but this guy.
Yeah.
Like it's 125 is just so tough.
Put a hurting on Tatsuro, like an insane performance. Like it is so difficult. Like, and it all this every time we have these conversations, whether it even be about Pantoja or not, all this reinforces in my mind is how insane what Pantoja is doing.
I know
right
you say Brandon Royval put a hurting on Tatsuro Taira. Brandon Moreno beat the shit out of Amir Albazi.
Yes.
Like, it was like...
one-sided as it gets.
It's just like 1-2. Like
Coach Safes came on and said he felt bad.
It's almost like you have Pantoja here, and then you have the clear 1-2 guys between Brandon Moreno and Brandon Royval. Like, there they are.
Yep.
But they've lost a combined 5 times to Pantoja. And then it's like now you're in this next tier of like the Albazis, the Kai Karas, the Manel Kapes of the world. And then
you beat some of them too.
Yeah, and then you have like this like newcomer that like isn't quite ready to take the throne. Like Steve Erceg put on a fantastic performance. Tatsuro Taira like not quite ready for it. Like it's just like 125, man. It's a swamp right now. I don't know what else to say. Like, do you bring back Mahayev? Do you bring in a new face again? Like
ArielHelwani has been pushing for that. I think it's a great option because I think it would be a competitive fight. I think he's the type of opponent you need. He'll also talk some good shit. It would be a great story to have him back in the UFC. I think there'd be like a coverage of that, right? There'd be a discussion around that because he left very like unceremoniously. There was some conversation of Dana White saying like the matchmakers didn't like him. He had the whole incident with Kape where they were brawling in the lobby, and so there'd be a lot of attention and buzz around the idea of him coming back. I think he had he was fighting. I think he is fighting this weekend, but
his opponent pulled out, and now he got a new short notice opponent. And I saw the odds were at least he's minus 10,000.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a bit of a layup there in front of him. If he can get that win, which we have to assume he can, I say bring him back.
That would actually be crazy if all right. So yeah, he's fighting Joe Vincent. So. Minus 10,000 on one book, minus 20,000 on another one.
Amazing.
So, yeah, I mean, this is just squash match. You go out there, you get a finish, you get on the mic at Brave FC, and you say, Alexandre Pantoja.
Whenever you do the Chandler, it gets me. But yes, that is exactly what you do. You hop on that mic and you're like, UFC, I'm ready to be a professional right now. I'm ready to be in your organization
okay,
again.
Yes. All right, I actually like this. I like this from you. You get on like not like apologetically, but sort of like I realize the mistakes that I've made. I am ready to act as a professional. I am ready to become a champion of the best organization in the world. Bring me back. You have no one else. I am the rightful suitor to this throne. I am undefeated in your organization. You have no one else for Alexandre Pantoja. It's me. Call. Let's get a contract.
That's exactly it. That's
my phone number, 888-912.
They deleted his phone number after he left. They're like, oh, shit.
God, I would just love if Muhammad Mahayev in the Michael Chandler voice. Alexandre Pantoja, you gotta come back and fight somebody.
That's it. That is the Helwani's been beating the drum on it. I think it makes the most sense right now as you've laid out. Like, it's not like Kai Kara. Now, Pantoja was also on the show yesterday and said to Ariel, like, Kai seems to be the one who makes the most sense at the moment. Makayev not in the promotion anymore.
Yeah. Right.
I
like,
get
Pantoja
that.
can't sit here and be like, I want Makayev.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, that would be such a bad look.
Is there any chance that the UFC just like doesn't want, like, I don't want to say egg on their face, but like they don't want to be like, dude, we just kicked this guy out, talked about how he doesn't get along with people. Like, we're not bringing him back.
I don't think UFC is concerned about that because I think you can easily sell the story of what we just said. If he gets on the mic and says, look, I fucked that up bad, but I am ready to be a professional. I am ready to be your champion. I'm ready to carry this promotion and respect it in the way that I need to. And the UFC goes, Dana White just has to get on one press conference and say, man, we met with him. We sat down with him. There were some wires crossed. Things weren't going right in his first run, and now we've sorted that out, and he's ready to be this guy. I think it'd be very easy for fans to buy it, and quite frankly, like, they need it. They need somebody who people legitimately think can beat Alexandre Pantoja because he just is making it look too easy right now.
And it also feels like Muhammad Mahayev is like, his personality is starting to open up a little bit.
Oh,
like,
yeah, big time.
His latest post is him like acting like he's a cameraman at Brave FC, and he's just like resting from Uber Eats at the moment. Night shift tomorrow night for the fight. Like he's like joked
He's been
a little
playing
bit
about it, yeah.
About like, oh man, I deserve to get out. So yeah,
it really depends. There's some people who, when the UFC and more specifically Dana White says we're done with you, they are done with. And then there's some people where it's not. And I think this is a circumstance situation, right? This is a situation where they are out of better options and might just say, okay, we'll give it one more shot. Let's see how we can do. Comport himself as a pro in this organization, and who knows, maybe he ends up being your champion. And then you have a story instead of, I mean, think about Kevin Holland. The story of Kevin Holland was fighting on Contender Series and talking a lot of shit, as Kevin Holland's known to do in the cage, and Dana hated it. Dana was just like, this guy's a joker. This guy's a clown. Got to know a little more of Kevin Holland, and then he becomes the favorite because Kevin Holland's going to take a fight against anybody. He's going to sell it. He's going to talk that good shit, and the opinion can flip that quick. It really can. Like, you just have to show that there's a reason for it to flip, and I think that Makayev can do that by leaning into what we're talking about of saying, I'm a pro, I'm going to be your champion. The other shit is on the side now. I'm not thinking that way.
it's all there for you, Muhammad Mahayev. Minus 10,000, go out, get an early finish.
Now,
on the mic.
to get back to the fight that's actually happening,
yes,
although
Manel
he's
Kopp.
fighting this weekend, so that's important to note, but Manel Kopp needs a big knockout to put himself back in this combo.
Big knockout, get on the mic.
Call out Pantoja.
I was
straight
gonna
up.
say, either call out Pantoja or like, I know they probably won't do it because they need a fight for their champion, but Manel Kopp, Kai Kara France, the heat between them as a title contender fight, like really to like earn it, but like they just don't have anyone else.
Is he in the corner?
Yelling
at me now?
Now we're talking. Yeah, it should be a good one. Manel Kopp, a fair-sized favorite in that one. I believe he is like a minus 365 or something like that. And Bruno Silva coming back at plus 300. So yeah, should be interesting. Another, some enticing fights on this main card. Another one that I'm intrigued by, Dustin Jacoby taking on Vitor Petrino. This one's kind of like a... Who's ready to who's still gonna be around after this one? Like Dustin Jacoby is 1-4 in his last 5. Once you get to 1-5, you start talking cutting ties with the promotion, especially when you're not a big name and you're not a ranked fighter and everything like that. Vitor Petrino,
which by the way is crazy because Dustin Jacoby was in the organization a long time ago, and that's exactly what happened. He left and then he had a resurgence and came back,
and he was doing great up until fall of 2022. He fought Khalil Roundtree, who we just saw
that's a tough
incredible title fight against Alex Pereira back in October. And I actually thought he won that fight, and it was one of those rare scorecards where it was a split decision where he actually won 2 of the 3 rounds on the judges' scorecards, but lost the fight in total. 2 judges had it 29-28 for Roundtree, but if you had done it individually by the round, Jacoby would have actually taken 2 of the 3 rounds. Just an incredibly close fight, but I thought he won that one. And that kind of triggered this rough streak for him. I actually don't think he should have be too downtrodden about it. If you look at the guys he's lost to on the 4 of the 5, Azamat Murzakanov ranked, Khalil Roundtree just fought for a title in a great title fight, Alonzo Minifield ranked, Dominic Reyes ranked, who now has seemed to have gotten his stride back a little bit. So all these guys have been ranked, and now he's getting a dude who's a little bit of a name, who was undefeated, had a horrible performance against Anthony Smith, and now we get to see, like, okay, can Vitor Petrino actually hang out like in the rankings at 205, or is it just sort of like undefeated, was getting set up with easier matchups, and now that he's finally getting tested, he can't hang? And then on the flip side of that, with Dustin Jacoby, it's just like, can you stay in the UFC? So I'm excited to see it. I think Dustin Jacoby still has some left in the tank. I don't think his current run is reflective of how skilled he is as a fighter. So for that reason, like, I am looking forward to this fight.
Yeah, it's one of those fights where the stakes are not necessarily like title opportunities and things like that, but there's still high stakes.
Yeah, it's like livelihood. Will this guy continue to work for the UFC?
He's such an exciting fighter. I wonder, like, I don't know, like, the days of like when you go on a skid in the UFC and you're automatically cut just don't exist anymore, because they have so many fighters on roster and they put on so many shows. I wonder, but Dustin Jacoby's a fighter, man. Like, he is somebody who brings the energy and action to every fight. So I don't even know. Like, I would suspect that it doesn't go if it doesn't go his way, that he's probably on the verge of being cut, if not cut. But he also is somebody who, when you put him in there with a Khalil Roundtree or other exciting fighters who are going to bring the action that he is also going to bring, you get great fights. So I don't know. I mean, maybe he hangs around just on the basis of his ability to fight. Like,
yeah, the Hanyak. That's your guy.
I love Dustin. He's a great human. Like, he's a solid dude, but also he's an action fighter. Petrino, I've just never been really that impressed with, if I'm being honest. Like, the
Gilly loss to Anthony Smith was rough. And if he doesn't go to the ground, man, and he gets into a kickboxing match, that's where Dustin can thrive.
There's an expression, I don't know where it originated. I hear it a lot in terms of, I think I hear it on like the Bill Simmons podcast or somewhere. I don't know. It's not coming to mind, but Vitor Petrino looks great coming off the bus.
Oh, yeah.
He's an all team bus
all
guy.
Aesthetic bus guy. Yeah. Looks like he's an absolute killer that you are in trouble when he gets.
And then he's kind of like a decision. Like, it's I don't know. He's just never.
I know. I saw someone. I think it was Ben the Bane Davis quote tweeted like a UFC thing, was just like, when Vitor Petrino comes out, you better watch out for the knockouts. And it was like his highlight of his one knockout in the UFC. And Bane quote tweeted, and it was just like, this is literally his only knockout in like 5 UFC fights.
Yeah, he's underwhelmed me. Now, I don't say that to say that I don't think he has a lot of skills. Like, I actually think he's quite skilled. It's more almost like my expectations for him are a little bit higher. Like, I think he has the skill set to kind of be competitive, especially in a division that's a little bit shallow. But he's just never put on those performances that made me go, okay, he's ready to be a guy. Maybe this can be the one. Maybe he can show up here. He's rebounding from a loss. And this is the one that I go, oh, okay, he actually can put it all together and be a guy. So that's why it's intriguing to me, but I don't know. It feels... What did you say the odds already for this one?
No, I did not, but Vitor Petrino is a massive favorite. Minus 275, Jacoby plus 235.
I don't know about that.
So decent-sized favorite. Not massive, but a decent-sized favorite. Will be intriguing to watch. One more on the main card that I wanted to talk about, Daniel Marcos, undefeated 16-0 Peruvian, taking on Adrian Yanez, who... Man, he was at one point, after that Tony Kelly fight, where he gets the knockout and he flips the double birds, and like, he looked fantastic doing it. Like, he was the next guy, it felt like, at 135. Yeah, there's the picture of it, like, iconic picture.
Legendary picture.
I have
it saved in my phone.
I mean, I remember that fight night distinctively. It was summer of 2022, and it was just like, damn, that was sick. Like, talked all this shit, gets it done, throws the birds up. But since then, man, knocked out by Rob Font, comes back, leg kick KO'd by Jonathan Martinez. He bounced back against Vinicius Salvador. But man, like, there was a point in time where Yanez looked like he was going to be vying for the title. And now we see how deep 135 is. Like, that's a tall task to get to the top of this division. But again, a guy that like has had success in the UFC, who now finds himself as an underdog, like plus 180 to Daniel Marcos.
I'm okay. Sometimes it's too much too soon, right? to me, the Rob Font fight was like a clear like
Tony
too
Kelly
much
to
too
Rob
soon.
Font, too much
It's
too
too much
soon.
too soon, and I'm willing to say like Yanez is how old is he? I think he's relatively young.
I want to say he's like 30.
Oh, he's 31. He's not as young as I thought. Okay.
Wow, I'm 31, man. Jesus.
I was thinking like 20, I thought he was like 27, 28. Also, you're not, fighting a little bit different than sitting here talking shit on the.
Yes, literally chatting shit on the. Man, clear one out today in New York. It looks great. It looks fantastic.
Wow, the apocalypse is over.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Arctic bomb is gone.
Atomic bomb as well?
No.
They didn't clear that one out yet. Okay.
Forget I said that.
He's got some time though. He's not. I'll say this: he doesn't have a ton of miles on him, and so I think you can learn the lessons from the Rob Font fight and the Jonathan Martinez fight, and there is still time for him to potentially make a run and be one of the guys. He is running out of time though. You need a win here. If you do not get a win here, now it really is starting to close the door on the idea like, hey, this could be a guy. The part that's so alluring about him is he's just so slick with the striking.
I was going to say, man, when he starts flowing on the boxing, dude, it is beautiful. It is a thing of beauty.
It's hard not to get into that mindset when you see him strike. It's hard not to be like, okay, I think he can be a champion because he is so good. He is so good with the boxing. He does get his biggest problem is he gets hit. He gets hit quite a bit. Like he is a great boxer, but defensively he gets hit, and that's a problem. And especially we saw that in the Font fight. Like Font, not a guy known for like huge knockouts, caught him pretty good. And so if he can shore up some of those defensive issues, I really feel like he can be a guy. I'm still a believer. I still believe because that boxing when it's on point, when he's flowing, is like I don't know if there's many people in that division or elsewhere in the UFC who have it as good as that. So if he can shore up some of those holes, I think there's an opportunity for a run still, but he needs this win. He needs to get this win to continue that.
That might be in his favor though. Daniel Marcos, I know he's 16-0, but he's not really like a knockout guy. Mm-hmm. I guess Rob Font isn't either.
That's what I was going to say though.
I guess
Font
Rob
is
Font
not
isn't
either.
either. So it really depends on like
the thing about Rob Font though is his technique is super clean, and we see this like a lot of the guys. Calvin Kattar, same thing, right? Like it's not the concussive like Francis Ngannou hit you like a truck power. It's because their technique is so good. When they hit you, and you really feel that, and that's what happened to Yanez. But yeah, if you're going to give him enough time to stay in the fight with you, his boxing's probably going to be better than yours. Now, the grappling is another facet to the game where, who knows what that looks like in this fight. But I believe. I still believe in Yanez.
Yeah, that should be a good one. Main card is nice. It finishes off with Navajo Sterling taking on Tuco Tacos. Maybe one of the best name matchups, just strictly off of names.
Yeah,
we've had. And I don't think either of these guys have nicknames as well.
It's pretty fantastic.
Yeah, it is great. Prelims, Michael Johnson, strap in, see what happens. Never know.
I like that.
That's a perfect fight for Michael Johnson to be winning for like 9 minutes and 14 seconds and then get nuked.
Oh, so every Michael Johnson fight.
Yes, like that is like lining him up with Atman Azaitar, who like I think Michael Johnson is better than, but like has big power, is just like the most Michael Johnson fight of all time. Joel Alvarez back, which I'm always excited about. Like, feel like he's never really talked about. Obviously, fighting at lightweight, like he is a massive for the division.
Huge, yeah.
And like he isn't really fighting in amongst like the ranked rankings, but like 21 wins, all 21 by finish, 21-3 overall, and also hailing from Spain, where Ilia Topuria comes from. MMA growing there. Always interesting when he fights because if he wins, he's gonna finish you.
It's impressive when he wins. He's one of those guys that when you see what he's all about, you walk away going, "That's a guy." He makes an impression.
Yeah, if he can keep getting finishes, man. Get a Spain card for Ilia Topuria. Throw Joel Alvarez on the main card.
That'd be very good.
Finish himself. Sean Woodson, STL Sniper. Always love when he fights. Miranda Maverick. Might have to get some pickles and Dr. Pepper. Miranda Maverick and Adrian Yanez. That's the meal for.
That's the mini fight feast.
Yeah, that's the mini fight feast. Shout out, just crushing pickles.
It's what the doctor ordered.
And shotgun and DPs. How you doing back there, Frank? I feel like we haven't heard from you.
I mean, you guys have just been cooking.
I know, but you were like, I really wanted to weigh in on the Miles John Felipe Lima
I did, but you
fight.
Covered it all, and I was just like, damn.
No, we didn't talk about that one, actually.
Yeah, you were dying. You were just like, I've really been trying to get in.
You're going to cover it all, and I'm just so happy that you are taking care of it.
When did you say that? Was that last week that you were just like, man, I really want to start getting in on the breakdowns more? You're like, give me Miles John's Felipe Lima.
Last night at the holiday party, I confided in everyone that's really what I wanted to do.
God, how good these tracksuits look.
Dude, fucking. Christ almighty, they look fantastic. I mean,
Did you just put the shoe
like-
on the desk?
No, he held it up.
Guys,
He held it up.
review
He
the
held it
tape.
up.
Review the tape, Frank. I mean, the red is so good too. Like, and it's like they fit around the waist, but like they're super loose at the end. Like it is like this will be getting worn on St. Stephen's Day, Boxing Day. I also love the stars in there. Like we got them on the sleeves. Like
The real stars inside the tracks.
Oh, that's so sweet. That's so sweet.
Frankie! Also, the red and black, boys in the black themed. Red and black, my favorite color combo. Yeah, we look fantastic.
We're doing all right. We're doing all right
We
today.
look fantastic. All right, so that is UFC Tampa. Should be a good
Sneaky,
card.
sneaky, stack card, like decent for a fight night.
It's always fun when they're in front of a crowd. They will be at the Amalie Arena in beautiful Tampa Bay. Is this UFC Tampa or is it UFC Tampa Bay?
I think it's just Tampa.
Wow.
I believe it's not Tampa Bay.
I've been telling all my friends UFC Tampa Bay.
I think it's just Tampa.
Is there a difference, Frank? Is there a difference between Tampa and Tampa Bay?
Yeah, there's Tampa, and then there's Tampa Bay.
Is Tampa Bay a city or is it just Tampa?
It's a bay.
Here's the thing about Frank. Why do I keep saying here's the thing? Sean Strickland has forever broken my brain with
Now,
this
here's
bullshit.
the guy.
Here's the thing about
Oh, yeah, here's
Frank.
the thing is Sean Strickland.
Strickland.
Here's the thing, guys.
Here's the thing about Frank. He's so sarcastic that even when he's telling you something that is probably factually accurate and not intended to be sarcastic, he sounds like he's saying it sarcastically. So he very well could be right and just telling you, yeah, there's a bay in Tampa called Tampa Bay. But because he's Frank, we don't believe.
There is a bay where I'm finding all of this out right now.
Live on the show.
Has my brain been warped by the sports teams there?
Being
like
the Tampa Bay.
The Tampa Bay Devil Rays, now the Tampa Bay Rays, the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But it's looking like the more I research,
It's just Tampa, yeah.
it's just Tampa.
And it has a bay, like Frank said.
This is like breaking my brain right now. But then the website is visittampabay.com. Are you visiting the actual bay and Tampa just happens to be there?
And is it BAE or is it BAY? Who knows? It could be just your Tampa Bay.
Unlock Tampa Bay, the heart of Florida's Gulf Coast. Discover active adventures, sky-high coasters, exotic wildlife, authentic culture and cuisine. Enjoy it all at a relaxing pace. That sounds like a dream.
Are we going to Tampa Bay?
It's the
Little-known
perfect union.
fact.
Hold on, Frank. I'm sorry. Hold on. It's the perfect union of exhilaration and relaxation, creating something we like to call the Tampa Bay effect.
Love it.
Wow. The perfect union of exhilaration and relaxation is the Tampa Bay effect. What were you going to say, Frank?
Something you may not know. I don't know if you guys do a lot of cooking, but when you get bay leaves,
Yeah.
straight from Tampa Bay.
All right, now he's bullshitting.
You're not serious.
Now he's bullshitting.
I guess you guys don't cook.
Yeah, now he's bullshitting.
I'm having a hard time, man, because then there's the Tampa River Walk.
Honestly, Tampa
Isn't
is a city.
Andy able to
Tampa
weigh in
Bay
on this? Can
is
Andy
the
help us
region.
here?
It'd just be like saying that New England, it's not a state, it's a region, right?
Okay, so Tampa Bay is a region.
Right.
So it's the Tampa Bay
Yeah.
region, and within it, Tampa exists. So actually,
Correct.
Tampa Bay is the larger.
The Tampa Bay region is a metropolitan area in Florida that includes the cities of Tampa, St. Petersburg, and Clearwater, as well as surrounding counties.
Just like the tri-state areas.
Wow,
yeah.
man. The more you know. I'm learning a lot about Floridian geography on the show today. And the funniest part about all this, my aunt and uncle are from Tampa, and I've been to Tampa several times.
Now, have you always been like, I'm going to Tampa Bay?
Yep. I've always been
And they
like
never
going to
corrected
Tampa
you.
Bay. My aunt and uncle are from
You
Tampa
should
Bay.
just keep like
You know
pulling
what?
the camera back. You'd be like, I'm going down the peninsula. I'm going down to the south.
I'm going
down
to the
USA.
United States. You know what? I probably went to all these like get-togethers, like a cousin's graduation, was at Tropicana Field, and I was probably like, "Yeah, we're going to Tampa Bay this weekend," and someone like almost corrected me, and then my parents were just like,
Just let him have it.
let the
Just
boy
him
have
have
it. Let the boy
and
have
they
it.
would be like concerningly eating in the kitchen. They're just like, he keeps calling it
He'll
Tampa
figure
Bay.
it out. He'll figure it out eventually. Here you are, 31. They're like shaking their head.
Nobody told Connor.
No
that
one
it's just
ever once.
Tampa.
I've been to Busch Gardens. I've been to Tropicana Field. I've been to a Bucks game.
Well, here's the thing. You're technically correct. That's the thing. Nobody wants to correct you or nobody can correct you because you're correct. it's just so loose. You are using such a broad term when you're going to a specific place.
Out here, do you guys say I'm going to the city when you're actually meaning just Manhattan? Like forgetting that the boroughs are all the city? Except for Staten Island. I mean, come on.
Wow, no love for Staten Island, bro.
I mean, it's just not a part of the city.
I actually quite enjoy Staten Island. It's very residential.
I think it'd be more akin to being like, and correct me if I'm wrong, maybe Andy can weigh in here. I feel like it'd be more akin to being like, I'm going to the tri-state area.
Yeah.
Like somebody's, you're like going on vacation and it's like, yeah, I'm going to the tri-state area. Everybody's like, yeah, okay. But are you going to New York? Going?
But even people who like, somebody told me, they're like, oh, I'm moving out to your area. We should meet up. I'm like, oh yeah, where are you going to be? Connecticut. It's like, okay, like, come on. Like,
it's true.
Unless you're coming to one of the boroughs, you're not in the same area as me.
Yeah. I 100% agree with you.
All right,
unless
UFC
it's Staten
Tampa
Island,
Bay.
in which case you're still not in the area.
Wait, as a former Floridian, nobody calls it Tampa Bay.
No one calls it Tampa Bay.
We just say Tampa. Yeah.
Choose Tampa.
There you go.
Just Tampa, straight up Tampa.
There you go. Definitive answer there.
Well,
wait a minute. So Andy heard this and didn't correct you either.
I made all my graphics say UFC Tampa Bay.
Error.
Wow.
You just covering
but also
everything,
technically correct.
You know? Yeah.
UFC.com has it. UFC Tampa.
A square is a rectangle isn't a square. We're just
Connor is embarrassed. What are we going to do?
Oh my God, this is
you'll never recover from this.
Yeah, this is tough. All right, UFC Tampa it is. Shout out to Tampa. You know what? All the times I've ever been, I don't think I've ever actually seen the Bay that it's named after.
Wow.
Which came first, Tampa Bay or the city of Tampa?
The city of Tampa came first.
Okay. All right.
You would have to think, right? Because then it's like,
yeah,
they're now expanding the Tampa verse.
All right. I'll take your word for it. Let's do Parlay Pals picks.
Yes.
I've already gotten Juliana Pena. She took the over 2.5.
Wait, do we have to recap what happened last week? Should we start there?
Yes. Yeah, we do. I actually don't have the graphic for last week's, but unfortunately, we went 3 of 4.
Oh.
Aljamain Sterling lost it. These are my picks from last week. Look at all that green.
Let's not even finish the rest of that. You just go to this.
Yeah,
let's just go on your
This
picks.
might have actually been my biggest week ever, like even going back to the MMA hour days. 12.86 units up. Yeah.
It's a hell of a week.
Got the dogs on Vicente Luque and Michael Chiesa. Got the Sterling handicap instead of going money line. That's actually what cost us in the Parlay Pals.
No, we don't talk about that.
I mentioned that on the show. You blatantly ignored me.
Nope.
Oh, over 1.5 in Smith Reyes. Fight doesn't go to decision. Do Troy. That almost lost. The only one that I messed up on, I said fight ends by sub or decision in Mitchell Cron Gracie. Missed that one.
You really didn't count on Bryce Mitchell slamming Cron Gracie's head through the canvas.
Didn't get the knockout. So great week for me betting. Unfortunately, we missed on one leg on the Parlay Pals. That was like a plus 500. We were that close to cashing a huge one.
Yeah, we were close. We were one round away.
And I think in 2025, we lengthen this segment. We bring back big hitters. They don't want to do that. Enough people send me tickets every Sunday.
People do ask, yeah.
That I need to start shouting people out again. Plus, I love doing.
You're the big hitter this week. Well, that's kind of the
big one. I also hit a couple side parlays as well. I hit like a plus 570 or something like that. So it was a good week. Juliana Pena already gave us her pick. It is the over 2.5 in Miranda Maverick versus Jamie Lynn Horth. Minus 540 on that one for an over 2.5.
Holy God!
Hopefully nobody slips on a banana peel. Let me throw the rest of the names into the randomizer.
Beep.
All right. That was the fastest
the
randomizer.
beep. Oh, wow. We got turkey on the randomizer?
I will go first. Rick will go second. Frankie, you will bring up the rear. Is that cool?
Yes.
All right. I will start. Wow. Frank, you know what I just realized? We can have music again for this.
Yeah, we can, can't we?
Yeah, we can. We sure can. I will go Manel Kopp, get a big finish, call out Kai Kara France for a title eliminator fight. Manel Kopp, minus 375. That is my pick. I still have faith in him being a title contender at 125.
I said I believe in Yanez. I still believe in Manel Kopp as well.
Yes.
We talked about him. We raved about him. We love him. I'm gonna go Joel Alvarez money line.
Love it.
He's just a killer, man.
Always down to support the Spaniards.
Yeah, I'm in. Joel Alvarez money line.
Rick, Frank, what say you?
What did Pena take already?
Miranda Maverick, Jamie Lynn Horth, over 2.5. Does that mess up your plans?
A little bit. Let me check something here. I am gonna have to bring it up the rear and say that it's Pacino and Jacoby are gonna go over 1.5.
Who and Jacoby? Oh, Petrino.
Why was this so awkward?
I don't know. Why was this so awkward, Frank?
I got distracted by something. I'm sorry, guys.
Nah, it's all good, man. It's all good. You all right?
I'll be fine.
It's all
Thanks,
good?
Thanks for checking in.
Yeah, no
Look
problem.
at the graphic.
Did Jordan already make it?
Don't look at the graphic.
Oh, Jordan didn't make it.
No.
I love that. Frank teeing it up.
You are.
Did I mention how great you guys look in your tracksuits?
Hey. Oh, you know what? Frankie was trying to buy time for Jordan. Okay.
Plus 164. Plus 164. We're 3-3, but we're up 5 units. Manel Kopp, Jacoby Petrino over 1.5 for Frank. Ricky Joel Alvarez moneyline and Juliana Pena Maverick Horth over 2.5.
Okay, we got to peel back the curtain on this though.
Please.
If this played out how I suspected, what a mensch Frank is, right? Jordan maybe needs a little more time to get that graphic ready. By the way, I have no idea if this is actually true or not. But Jordan needs a little more time to get that graphic ready. Frankie's trying to stall, but he makes himself the butt of the joke. He takes it on his shoulders.
I think you guys are just looking for the opportunity to make me the butt of a joke.
Is
No,
Frank the most
I'm trying to give you
selfless guy
credit
on
here.
this team?
Yeah, I mean, Jesus, Frank, take the compliment.
I think you might win the award at next week's uncrowned holiday party for.
Should we have like
selfless
little
service
trophies?
of the year? Yeah, we should do an award show. Private, obviously, unfilmed, and never discuss it ever, so no one will ever hear about it. But just between the team,
Speeches would be great.
speeches would be great.
Frank, we're trying to compliment you, and
especially once we're off the Funk Harbor.
I'm throwing Funk Harbor Helwani would
Funk
be
Harbor
something.
Helwani.
I'm
We're gonna
throwing
let the-
Jordan under the bus here, and Frank's just like, no.
When you talk as much shit as you do, when you're being sincere, it just feels like
It
it's
feels
more
weird,
shit
right?
talking. No,
Okay,
it's just more
so
shit talking.
so Rick talks so much shit that when he's actually being sincere, we still think he's talking shit.
Exactly.
You are always so sarcastic that even when you're being serious, we
What's
still
weird
think
is
you're
I'm
sarcastic.
not that sarcastic.
As he says
I feel like you're
sarcastically.
being
Yeah.
sarcastic.
Yeah. We got it. And then Jordan's going to say later, I'm surprised the topic bar hasn't flown already where he's just like, no, Frank just fucked up.
On Air Jordan, Frank is the ultimate team player.
Oh.
Wow, it's just a big hodgepodge of camaraderie.
It
back
turns
there.
out there is an Iron team, and it's me.
Frank.
Yeah. Okay.
Shout out to Frank.
Shout out to Frank.
All right, seriously, guys, knock it off. You're hurting my feelings.
All right, my picks of the weekend. I have 5 of them. We will start with a money line. We mentioned him earlier, the Hanyak. I don't think he's done yet. Dustin Jacoby, like I said, 1-4 in his last 5. I'm aware of that, but the 4 losses are all to ranked opponents. Thought he beat Khalil Roundtree. I think he's still a very skilled fighter, and I just do not trust a minus 280, minus 300 price tag on Vitor Petrino, especially after his last performance. To the main event, I actually feel like I kind of messed up on this one. I took fight goes to a decision minus 130, and then I saw fight starts round 5 at minus 160. I really wish I was holding that ticket. Colby Covington, 10 of his last 10 have started the 5th round or gone to a decision. 8 of his last 10, period, have gone to a decision. He tends to go long. I trust his toughness. I think this will be the biggest step up for Buckley, especially at 170. I think he'll come out a little bit more tentatively in the early stages and then start pushing it, putting the pressure on. But knowing how important this fight is for his career, he might not let it go. I just think this one goes long, and I think it goes all 5 rounds. Still wish I was holding the starts round 5. Like you said, I could see a late finish from Joaquin Buckley. A few parlays. Strap in. Just hope for the best. I am parlaying Michael Johnson. I really do think he's just better than Ottman Azaitar, but obviously there's that chance that he gets caught. That's just what happened when Michael Johnson fights. And then Manel Kopp, I feel confident in his chances this weekend. That one gets me to plus 106. Next up, the undefeated Swede, Josephine Knudsen and Joel Alvarez, the Spaniard we mentioned earlier. I think they both get it done. I think these are favorable matchups for them. So the Spain-Sweden parlay, and then lastly, a prop parlay, Yanez Marcos. I know Yanez has power in his hands. He can get knockouts, and sometimes his chin is susceptible to that as well. But Marcos is much more of a decision fighter, and I think this is easily his toughest test in the UFC, over 1.5. And then Billy Q, Cup Swanson. I think they're going to bang, but I think that one goes all 15. I think it's going to be a great fight, so I like the over 1.5. And that one, and those are the picks to close out the UFC year. I will still have betting picks, or boxing picks.
We got a big one coming.
Ooh, do we have a big one? We'll talk about that next week, a deep dive. Plus, I guess that'll be our holiday special. This place will look like a winter wonderland this time next week.
Helwani's going to be thrilled.
Oh, yeah. I put the order in. No expense spared.
Nobody loves your set deck.
Is it true
more
that we're
than
going to
Helwani.
have a real snowman in the studio?
Made out of actual snow, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
And we'll just have to repack it
It's going to be sick.
every minute.
It's going to be sick. Speaking of Christmas, holidays, Hanukkah coming up, whatever you may celebrate at this time of year, our pound-for-pound rankings this week is actually going to be the best holiday movies, best Christmas movies, best Hanukkah movies, best whatever movies.
That's this week.
Frank, how many times are we going to try this joke?
I just thought it would naturally fall next week.
Next week?
No, we talked about this because we're doing New Year's look ahead, and so we needed to do holidays here.
We could even do holidays again next week. We could find something else to do holidays next week.
Okay, well now I have to make a list.
Then we
real
could
quick.
do New Year's. We could do New Year's first week back. This is a week by week thing, Frankie.
Got it. Can we get a calendar?
No, we don't decide these
For the
until...
pound for pound, we literally decide them week of.
Okay.
You're in every pound for pound.
Yeah, but I always think
meeting.
we're like 2 weeks ahead, as a team should be.
Yeah. We can. That's a day 2 thing, Frankie. That's a 2025.
It's a next year thing. Got it.
That's something that we're gonna get
See you
into
next year on the...
Best holiday movies, best Christmas movies, whatever you watch to get into the holiday spirit this time of year, that is going to be the top 5. And Frank, I go to you on whether or not we have an order decided on.
Yeah, I
how
think we
we'll
do
go.
have an order, and being that I am so humble, I will go first.
Okay. This feels like the trend.
Well, it makes the most sense to me. So
Can I just ask before you get going, do you feel pressure? Do you feel nervous? Do you
After
feel
last week,
the nerves because you were so tremendous last week that there's absolutely no way you can live up to it, especially with a category like this? There's no way you're going to come out of left field with like, how did I never forget that? So like, we're almost guaranteed for this to be a letdown for you. Do you feel that pressure?
No, to be honest, I have thought since last week that my list was actually kind of mid.
Last week's list?
Yeah, I want to point out that someone left a comment. I don't know where it was, Twitter or something. They were like, you know what? Frank still screwed it up because it was supposed to be headwear, and he chose everyone in costumes.
No.
You let the one negative comment affect you, man?
I mean, that's all it takes. And you guys always give me like 2 or 3 negative comments. So
Yeah.
You followed the
Imagine.
rules pretty
No, you killed last
strictly.
week.
Like,
Do you think you're
No.
going to perform well this week?
I, according to anonymous user 3879, I
that was just Connor.
completely fumbled the bag.
That was me.
or whatever. Yeah. So sorry, guys.
I
to
thought
let you know.
me and Rick also owned up when we like quote tweeted the graphic of the rankings.
Everything
we were like,
was
Frank won.
feeling like, oh wow, I've done a good job until the standing ovation in the control room. Then I was like, all right, everyone's just taking the piss on me or whatever you call it.
No,
They're
that's
pissing
not
on
how
me.
that expression.
I think
that's
PT
not how
was
that
like,
expression
Frank, I'm
goes.
just pissing on
piss
you.
on you.
Frank,
Let's hope you never. And if I got
I find that to be really, rude. But
That's not the.
Also,
one.
I think Helwani said that was your best moment, period,
yeah.
over the last 3 years.
did it matter when he was like, Frank, do you want to take this job on this new era? I was like, yes. He's like, this is not your best moment. Frank."
I've seen you audio
you
mix
and-
with 104-degree fever while also fighting a case of the runs, and you acted like it was no problem.
Right. Or
That's
I
a
take it
better
on the
than
chin
that.
for On-Air Jordan to get a graphic ready
Yeah.
together, and you guys are like, "Oh, you're so prepared." I'm just telling you.
Or
All
that
right.
time when you thought it was a travel day. We'll save that one for another day.
It's too soon.
You broke Frank. You laughed. You got him.
All right.
It was good.
So,
all right, Frank, hit us.
My pound for pound holiday movies, and to be clear, it's any holiday goes.
No,
right?
you fuck off, Frank.
No, come on,
Stop.
Frank. Don't start already.
All right.
Don't
Well,
start already.
Good thing, because at number 5, I have picked
Groundhog Day.
a Muppet Christmas Carol.
It's a good one.
Okay.
It's a good
Real
one.
quick, just one element. Not my favorite movie up until a couple years ago. My wife, God bless her, every time it's right after Thanksgiving, she gets in the season and the mood. She puts this movie on. I used to just let it go on in the background. I'm like, why are we watching this shit again? And it's grown on me to the point I look forward to it every year. And if that is not a holiday movie, I don't know
Yes.
what is.
Oh, so you started anti and then came around.
I was just like, come on, like you'll see the rest of my list. You'll see what I consider a holiday movie.
Yeah,
But
okay.
I have adopted this one, and she's right. It is great. But to be
Yes.
honest, one of our own, Ben Folks, actually sums it up better as to what is so good about this movie. Let's let it rip.
oh wow, we
Michael
got exclusive
Caine
video here.
shows up alongside a cast of fucking Muppets and plays it like he is sure he's getting an Oscar for this. One of the best performances in a Christmas film ever, and he did it surrounded by fucking Muppets.
Did
Did you
guys
request
ask
that? How
Ben
did
to say-
this come?
No, like so. There's a a meeting that we go to every week that you guys aren't invited to because it's just for the cool kids apparently. And he mentioned this, and I was like, you know what, Ben, you took the words right out of my mouth. I'm gonna have to use this on Boys in the Back. So.
Jordan, flat topic bar. I want to know what really happened, but that's also
you don't have an earpiece in your ear. He has no way of communicating.
No, he communicates via topic
Frank,
bars.
I actually have to say right off rip, you've inspired me to watch it tonight. I do like this movie, and I respect it as a pick. I just haven't watched it in so long.
I haven't watched it in 20 years.
I forgot that Michael Caine is even in it.
Oh man,
I need to watch it. And
it's witty. It's amazing.
You also, I love the Muppets. The Muppets are top tier humor. You summed up a holiday movie perfectly. First time you watched it, maybe you didn't like it, but then you watch it every single year around this time, and it just becomes synonymous with it, and you get the nostalgia and like the warmth of the holiday season, and you start to fall in love with it.
I'm thinking about my own list, and I don't have any of those, but you guys have. So Ben put it on social media. You guys have been beaten into submission by your holiday movies?
No, not always. I'll explain it deeper.
Okay, we'll talk about it later.
I'll explain it deeper in my
So
list.
coming in at number 4 is The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Great one.
I know that some of us, I'm not going to name any names, put this on their Halloween list.
Right.
Which is funny because it doesn't
Halloween Town.
say Halloween in the title.
Jack-o'-lanterns all
it's
over.
The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Right. Because
Frank's gotten to the point where now he's critical of your list selection.
No,
he's on such a heater right now.
Before Christmas. It's not Christmas.
But he's on such a heater right now that he's like, nah, you're doing lists wrong when he's notorious for that. This is something by Frank because he's still cooking right now.
Musicals go, amazing. Like every song is catchy. I mean, little boogie woogie, you gotta love it. The stop motion is amazing. And then what's more important is that it actually helped like Disney grow out of their like normal,
right.
Yeah, like it actually showed
the rainbows
like,
and princesses,
the alternative, the counterculture,
Yep.
and all of us. Like Hot Topic now has things to sell. Like I think that's important. I feel like there needs to be more representation with Disney, and they nailed it.
Gotta supply Hot Topic.
Yeah, I was gonna say happy for Hot Topic.
Speaking of representation,
dub for Hot Topic.
At number 3, we have Jingle All the Way, and it ends.
Shout
with
out to
Phil
Schwarzenegger.
Hartman. It begins and ends with Phil Hartman. He's honestly
Turbo
the star
Man.
of the show.
As we show a picture of Turbo Man and not Phil Hartman.
Yeah, that's the production on this show is leaving some to be desired.
It begins and ends with somebody not pictured here.
And however, Sinbad, Arnold Schwarzenegger, you got
Shout
it.
out Sinbad.
That's great. But Phil Hartman is I'm trying to get other people who may not have watched Jingle All the Way. You got to do it.
I love Jingle All the Way.
Speaking of jingling all the way, coming in at number 2 is Bad Santa.
Yeah,
all right.
Old BBT showing us what it's like to work in the holiday season.
I mean, this was Billy Bobby Thornton at his peak.
I mean, yeah.
I like
definitely.
how you added the Bobby in there. That was nice. I like that.
Great movie.
Was he
great
dating
jokes.
Jolie at this point?
I think he was.
Yeah,
Wow.
he was, yeah.
Wow. Peak of his power.
I thought he did a great job.
He definitely did.
Something. Honestly, this is one of those movies that I would watch any time of the fucking
Yeah.
year. It doesn't have to be Christmas.
You ruined it, Frank. But I got to tell you, 2 weeks in a row, this man is on fire.
Let's hear
right
one.
now.
So, with that fiery intrigue that we have, we should know that my number 1 holiday movie, and in
Oh
this
shit!
case,
If he does Alien, I'm
Christmas
gonna jump
movie,
out of a window.
I
is
know what it is.
Stanley Kubrick's own Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew that's what he was going with.
To all of you haters out there,
Looks
shut
like
the
a
fuck
Christmas
up.
movie.
You
Red.
don't know what you're talking about. The movie starts at a top of the out of this world Christmas party. That's the entire plot is based around this Christmas party.
You want to describe the parties a little more, or
Yeah, so you go to the party, and there are models there who are taking you to the end of the rainbow. You get called up to the guy who's hosting the thing because he's got a little bit of a problem with somebody. I can't get into too much detail. There are children that watch this. However, it really brings the family together. You watch Eyes Wide Shut. You realize
it brings the family together.
brings the family together. You realize that you don't know what you have until you're on the brink of almost losing it. All in the Christmas season. It's a tearjerker. I will not lie to you. I watched this right after Thanksgiving. I'm like, bring on the Christmas time. I love it.
That's what gets it. Bring on the Christmas time.
Stanley
Stanley Kubrick's Eyes Wide Shut.
this is. I will grant you that this is a Christmas movie, like by legal definition. But man, not.
If you
not
have to say the
not a movie.
director's name beforehand, it's probably too serious of a movie to be a Christmas movie.
Well, okay. So before we move on, because I know that we should, this movie was actually released after Stanley Kubrick died. Like, he never got a chance to do the circuit. He never even got a director's cut for this. So it's one of those two that it, out of respect for the man, like, he didn't, this is part of his legacy, but we never got to hear him kind of break it down for everyone. We never really got to get his angle because, again, no director's cut. It's been almost over 30 years now and still nothing. So I feel like one of the greatest directors of our time, take it from us too soon. Also part of the Christmas spirit, like you just got to remember those that you have.
This is a tribute. This is your tribute.
Yeah, so that's why I mentioned his name. Like, you got to show some respect to his name.
A Stanley Kubrick Christmas.
I'm gonna say Frank's Still Cooking. This is good. I have some qualms with number one, but it is a good movie.
I knew that was gonna be your number one. You've been talking about it all holiday season.
But yeah, Frank, tell us more about it. Drop a review maybe.
I just did.
Letterboxd?
On Letterboxd, yeah. You said.
How about you just watch it?
The family friendly. I've seen it many times.
From Connor saying, "I'm going to go home and watch Muppet
Watch
Christmas
it all the
Carol."
time.
You know what, Connor? Do that. Then throw on some Eyes Wide Shut and bring in the holidays.
Same theme. Same
themes. Yeah.
All right, who goes next?
I'm going to decide that Rick goes.
All right, Ricky, you're up.
I feel strong about this one.
All right,
I like my list.
I love a strong feeling.
I like my list. I didn't feel as hot last week. I like my list a lot. In fact, I dare say I love my list. Coming in at number 5.
I really am. I'm very curious to hear where you go with this.
Coming in at number 5.
Oh, there's a lot of pressure here.
Love Actually. Love.
It's great
list.
movie. Fantastic.
Love Actually.
We're starting off hot.
Just one of the best rom-coms, like super Christmas themed. So many different players, ensemble cast. Frank talked about the heartstrings, like really tugs at you. So many different stories throughout. If you haven't seen this one and you're a fan of rom-coms, like actually, if you're a fan of rom-coms, you've already seen this one. But if you can kind of tolerate rom-coms, highly recommend. And to the point that I think people who don't even like enjoy rom-coms can enjoy this one. I'm not like a huge rom-com guy. My wife and I, shout out to Holly, love you, have seen this many times together. She's big in the Christmas spirit. This one means a lot to us. Number 4, Frank, I like what you did here. Jingle All the Way. I like what you did.
Yes.
I like what you
Hartman,
did.
man,
I am a big fan of this movie.
Shout out to
Turbo
Arnie,
Man.
too. Sinbad also. It's just like, it's
Great supporting cast of Phil Hartman.
It's not also like, love the poster with the lights. Came out on November 22nd. Perfect timing for a Christmas holiday movie. Great cast. Like, a fun, different storyline. Turbo Man.
Hartman is fantastic. He is also my favorite part of it as the like neighbor who's clearly moving in on the wife and kind of annoying. The best part of this is it's such a time capsule because there used to be a time where you had to go to the toy store and get the toy and there was limited supply and people are fighting over them. People were killing each other over Tickle Me Elbows and Furbies and all this stuff.
Tickle Me Elmo.
Now you can order online and nobody bats an eye. Everybody gets what they want. Unless it's like the latest PlayStation or whatever. It's definitely not like some little random toy anymore. But he needed that Turbo Man. And now as a father, I watch this movie with a different lens and I'm like, I would do anything, much like Schwarzenegger and Sinbad, I would do anything to get this toy if my kids wanted this toy.
Respect.
So Jingle All the Way, great movie. Arnold at his finest. Put down the cookies, or those are not your cookies. I forget what he says, but iconic movie, iconic performance by Arnold. But I also agree with Frank here. Phil Hartman stole the movie. Okay, number 3. This one is also near and dear to my heart because I found a way to work in something that you wouldn't expect for a holiday movie, and that's Black Christmas. Now, very importantly, 1974. There have been remakes of this movie since. This is a horror movie.
Okay.
That is one of the original slasher films of the time, focused on a sorority house around Christmas.
If this picture doesn't make your skin crawl, it's on too tight.
Yeah, a classic horror film that, to steal a line from Frank, you could watch anytime, but a Christmas / horror classic. If I tell you too much of it, it's giving too much away because at the time it kind of did like the calls coming from the house. Now we've seen that 10 million times, but it kind of like was one of the main reasons that genre exists. And so go see it if you're a horror fan. It's definitely not touchy-feely. This is not like a lift your spirits holiday movie.
It's no Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah, exactly. after you watch Eyes Wide Shut, you feel like, you could take over the world. But a great horror movie that is a Christmas movie as well. Okay, number 2. Had to do it. Meant a lot to me as a child. Home Alone. Easy.
Classic.
I will admit, I did consider going Home Alone 2 because of the New York theme. Also loved that film. Just felt like 1 was better.
Yeah.
2 got a little too goofy, but man.
Also Trump's in it. I know you love that.
Shout out. Got my hat. Macaulay Culkin just
Legend.
in fuego in this movie. Just like hitting everything out of the park.
But Piers Morgan was in the second one. How would you...
That's another one, another guy I ride for. But Home Alone 1.
Piers Morgan was not in the second one.
Oh, really?
He played the bag lady.
Yeah, he's talking about the pigeon lady looks like Piers Morgan.
Oh, Jesus.
So much so that like, he came out and was like, it's not me.
Wait, what?
Way to derail, but that's actually a funny derailment. I mean, I don't need to talk more about... Let me see. Oh, Christ.
It's the same
Wait,
person.
but the bag ladies, the pigeon ladies in 1, too, no?
In
No,
2.
no.
She's in 2 because she's in
there's the
Central Park.
old man. There's the old man in 1.
That was, yeah. All right.
What were we going to say?
I forgot.
Home Alone 1. Everybody has seen this. I don't even know if there's anybody out there that has
I've
not
seen
seen
someone
this.
that was just like Macaulay Culkin didn't want to go on vacation. He wanted to stay. He could have called the police at any moment. He wanted to torture the bad guys. He's actually just evil.
The Sticky Bandits. I mean, it's a perfect film. It's
great.
I love it so much.
What's your
Soundtrack's
favorite
fantastic.
I have to admit. All right, here's. I'll tell you a little bit about
never
me. This
seen
will
it?
get into the psyche. No, I love him torturing the wet bandits, and I used to, when I was in elementary school, I liked art a lot. I used to draw houses. Like once I learned how to do the 3D house, right? You draw the box. Now you start doing the
isometric,
roof
yeah.
with the great isometric. I made trap houses. That was my thing. Every day I'd make one. I'd build here's where the flamethrower at the front door was. Here's where the attacks are. Here's where the floor is open with a rug over it and they fall down. And I would just draw these houses of ways that if somebody was burglarizing a house, they'd fall into these traps.
Just so you design trap houses.
I designed not those kind of trap houses. But yes, I did. That was my hobby after I saw Home Alone. I was like, I loved the idea of these people getting tortured as they entered his house, and so it became an obsession for me. I made one every single day.
Iconic.
My favorite is when he watches
There's Piers Morgan. There's Piers Morgan.
The filthy animals, Frank. Is that
the
it?
filthy animals. Yeah, I can't remember the name of the movie, but it's so funny that there's a movie within a movie with. It's just like they did it in The Simpsons. There's like an actual continuity that's going on. I love it.
All right, here we go. Number 1, NewYorkRic.
You're guessing?
No, I don't know.
Oh, I thought you were about to give a guess.
Teeing you up.
I have an idea in my head, and I'm praying you don't go that
I think
way.
it's Gremlins.
Gremlins is a great one. Did not make the list. I would have put it, but it was a honorable
It's
mention.
2.5. I got you.
Number 1, Batman Returns. Auto. Easy.
nice.
Game over. The definitive Christmas movie.
The definitive Christmas movie.
I got to agree with him on this one.
This is the Christmas movie. And if you ain't watching Michael Keaton, Michelle Pfeiffer, and Danny DeVito, we ain't talking. And also,
Timmy B is on here twice now. I love
yeah,
I can't speak to this. I've never seen it.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, my Batman is Christopher Nolan's trilogy.
Oh God, Michael Keaton's Batman. I'm gonna have to veto your Eyes Wide Shut watching or Muppets movie watching. This is the assignment. Batman Returns.
What makes this a Christmas movie?
Wow.
It's just
Someone's never seen
happening around Christmas. Like
Yeah, that's what I asked, Frank, because I've never seen it.
happening around Christmas. The whole thing is like there's set pieces that are. It's Christmas in Gotham City. This is the
Christmas in Gotham City.
Yeah, this is
And
the
it
story.
brings the family together around the fire. You watch Batman Returns.
And Christopher Walken also in this cooking. Like it is just
I'm watching the trailer right now. Danny DeVito, shout out, absolute legend. This guy is
God as the Penguin.
watching the trailer. Like not even Not even a Christmas light. Don't see
No. You're not watching the right trailer.
Not
then.
even a
Christmas lights all over Gotham.
Not even
the
a
whole thing.
Christmas tree.
There's presents all over the trees. Michelle.
Okay, I will. Here we go. Top comment though. One of the best Christmas films.
Yeah. You gotta.
I'm glad that the internet has to validate our choices for you.
You gotta get on.
I just don't. Don't buy
It's
it.
Anonymous 38794 says.
Well, they
Man,
validated
you're
your
going
list
after
last
Anonymous
week.
3794 a
They
lot.
really
today.
validated yours last week. I just had to say I am so proud of this trio here. I was really nervous it was going to be your number one. That Die Hard is not on any of our lists.
Well,
We
haven't gone through your
I don't
list
Christmas
yet.
movie. Die
It's
Hard.
not on my list. It's not on my fucking list. I think anyone that's just like Die Hard's the greatest Christmas movie is
It's an
the
internet
worst.
meme that should have died 10 years
Yes,
ago.
it's an internet
Like,
meme. Not only is Die Hard, in my opinion, not a Christmas movie, it's also, even if it was, it's not the best Christmas movie.
I mean, say that to Alan Rickman.
All right, Alan Rickman. Not only do I not think it's a Christmas movie, I don't think it's the best Christmas movie.
Connor, he's dead.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's not with us anymore.
Yeah,
So
He's like, I
Okay,
know.
May he rest in peace. I'm so sorry for
He's like,
speaking to Alan
if you got to
Rickman.
see Stanley Kubrick's name, it's not
that's
worth
Snape
it.
right there. So are you saying it's not even a
Like
good movie?
the producers literally jumped in my ear. They were like, "No, he's dead. He's dead." It's like, yeah, okay.
Are you saying it's not even a good movie? Or
I'm
do you
saying
not
it's
like Die
I'm
Hard?
saying it's not the best Christmas movie. Even if you consider it a Christmas movie, it's not the best Christmas movie.
Yippee-ki-yay.
But so you're saying like it doesn't rate that high for you, like just
It's a
across the
fine movie.
It's
It's a
okay.
fine movie.
It's just okay. Damn, I like Die Hard a lot, but I don't consider it Christmas either. It's
I don't
very
think it's the
minimally
best
Christmas.
Christmas
I don't think you're blue collar enough, Connor, to like relate.
Blue collar.
What, going to the top of a
Knock
of a
Atomic
giant,
Tower or
a
whatever?
That was the
giant
whole point. Is like
skyscraper
you have
in-
someone
in
who
LA?
became a hero because he was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
He was also a cop. It's not like exactly like you're making it sound like he was like a postman who just decided to take it into his own hands.
It's a great movie.
It's a great movie.
It's an
I
all right
agree.
movie. It's an all right movie.
I like it a
The
lot.
worst people I know are like Die Hard's the greatest Christmas movie to
I
ever
hate
happen.
anybody who's like on one corner or another on that who's like it is 100% a Christmas movie or
I
it's
also have to
not.
get
It's
a-
just like who cares?
I also have to get another hot take off my chest. I'm
hear
also very proud of this trio. No Christmas Story on any of our lists either.
Mm.
There is someone out there who's like, I watch Christmas Story every single year,
There's a
and
lot of
Die Hard is the greatest Christmas movie ever. Like they share both those opinions, and I couldn't disagree with them more.
I love
It's just
it.
one of those things. There used to be where I don't know, they probably still do it. They would just play it over and over again.
On TBS, yeah, they would do the
So,
24-hour thing. You're going to shoot your eye out.
I think it's one of those
blah.
things like for us here in the northern hemisphere, like cold weather kind of brings in the Christmas time. It's the same thing. It's like, oh, Christmas Story is on in the background. It's must be
Like
Christmas time.
as a signifier
Yeah,
of Christmas.
That doesn't make it a great movie. It's just like a signifier.
I feel like Home Alone kind of comes on a lot during the.
But I think Home Alone's a way better
you know what
movie
else
than
comes
Oh,
on a
so
lot
good.
during this time?
What
Eyes Wide Shut. Shout out.
is it actually?
No.
No,
No, they don't.
Eyes Wide Shut and
Alamo
Batman
Drafthouse actually
Returns.
showed
Dude,
it
Batman
last
Returns
year.
is getting rotations during
They're like
holidays.
back to back.
All right, here we go. My top five. I actually just like all three of these things that I just listed. No Die Hard, no Christmas Story, and now number 5 here for me. And then we all three had it. Jingle All the Way, baby.
Love
Shout out
it.
to Arnie.
Is that the first time we've ever
That is the
tripled?
first time we've ever
Yeah,
tripled.
and it's all over Jingle All the Way. I also love how we have 3 different assets for Jingle All the Way. This is incredible. Great movie, feel good Christmas flick.
So good.
Feel
it.
good.
So good. Saw it in theaters.
Number 4. I'm completely different from y'all now. For the rest of the 4, I actually can't believe a couple of these didn't make your list. Number 4, classic Jim Carrey's version of The Grinch, blockbuster hit,
Confession.
real life version. You've never seen it.
Never seen this.
You
Looks
scoffed at me having not seen the Michael Keaton Batman, but you have never seen the Jim Carrey Grinch.
Never.
Have you seen it, Frank?
No, I haven't.
Fuck me.
Yeah.
Seriously.
This is a generational thing. Michael
It came
Keaton.
out in like
Jim Carrey.
2000.
Michael Keaton Batman is like must watch for people that are my age and Frank's age. This is
I'll
must
admit
watch
that-
for you.
I'll admit that like I'm too young for the Michael Keaton Batman.
because it was the first one was 92, right? The first Batman.
89?
Oh, sorry, 89.
Oh,
This was
89.
92 or something like that, right? This is
Correct. No,
Yeah.
89 and 90, I want to say.
Jim Carrey
They were really
Grinch?
close.
no Batman.
Oh.
So like
say Jim
it's
Carrey
it's way ahead of that time.
Never seen it?
Never seen this.
Okay, number 3,
Jim Carrey's great though.
This actually is, in my opinion, like one of the best Christmas movies. I think this is the best actual movie on my list. No one's really heard of it because it's newer. It is an animated Christmas film that is on Netflix. Please, I beg you to go watch it right now. You should watch it with your kids. You'll absolutely love it.
Intrigued.
Was nominated for Best Animated Film of the Year at the Oscars. Klaus. If you've never seen it, then I can't really describe it for you. It's just an original animated Christmas movie. It is fantastic, though. Anyone that I've recommended it to has absolutely loved it. I showed it to my family. Nieces and nephews loved it. Parents loved it. It is a very, very good Christmas movie.
I have seen this, but not with my kids. But I just watched
you've seen it.
It's great.
Love it.
Love it.
Love that movie. Fantastic. It's become, since it came out, like a yearly programming in my household. But it couldn't be number one because of the tradition surrounding 2 and 1. Number 2, I'm mind blown that this did not make Yell's top 5. Elf. Nothing there for Elf. Will Ferrell.
I like
Elf.
Elf
is mid.
No, Elf's not mid. Elf's not mid.
I have already watched Elf like 3 times this holiday season. Like, it's just something you can throw on. Clean 90 minutes. Entertaining from start to finish. All-star cast. Set in New York City. We live in New York City. Elf is fantastic.
Some of us live in New York City.
Here's where I'm at with that. I think Elf is great. I know a lot of people who have it grail. Like, they're like, Elf is so the definitive Christmas movie, the best Christmas comedy. If I'm going to watch a Christmas comedy, it's going to be a Home Alone. It's going to be a Jingle All the Way. It doesn't go above those for me.
To me, Elf, and I have Jingle All the Way. I respect Jingle All the Way. Respect Home Alone. To me, Elf is just like so much funnier than those.
That doesn't do it for me.
Will Ferrell.
Not in that way.
A young Zooey Deschanel.
I watched Elf probably 4 or 5 years ago for the first time, and I think it just got built up so much because of people's nostalgia.
There's a lot of hype around it.
I was like, look, I get it, but it's not going in the rotation. I got to make room for Batman and for Eyes Wide Shut. Like, there's no Elf. Sorry.
I think.
Wait, Batman wasn't even on your list.
You know what? You've converted me.
Okay,
I think not only that, but I do have the strong theory. I've had this for a while, Frank, that anything that's like widely popularized, you are just automatically
now
going
this
to hate.
Opinion that you have, is this making the rounds? Like, or is everyone agreeing with you?
The hipster.
Your wife strongly agreed with me when I presented it to her.
That's why I'm not going home tonight.
The hipster takes from Frank.
I know. I used to be the guy. Ariel used to get on me. I feel like Frank has taken the throne.
Became too trendy. You decided not to do it.
Exactly. You became too trendy at one point. Frank started disliking you.
Yeah. That's how me and Frank.
So I think you just went into Elf. You were like, I'm going to hate this.
No, I actually watched it. Zooey Deschanel knocked it out the park.
A very young Deschanel.
Will Ferrell, not his best. That's all I'm saying.
Not his best.
I got to be honest. That's another thing for me. It wasn't even like top 5 Ferrells for me.
Top 5 Ferrell movies, I can understand, but like performance-wise, like this dude,
coming on the same list with Jim Carrey. I'm surprised you're saying this.
Wow.
Without even seeing The Grinch,
I thought his
tell
performance
was
on par with Jim Carrey in
Just wait
The
till you
Grinch.
see DeVito.
Dude, this guy was
Return.
like, he was doing like Old School and Anchorman and Talladega Nights at like the same time as this, and then he became this childish elf. Like, I thought it was fantastic.
Roxbury
But this is the thing.
Was his
As
top.
far as Christmas comedies, it doesn't surpass some of those for me. And then as far as Ferrell, it doesn't surpass some of those for me. So it's in this like zone where I kind of shelf it, you know?
James Caan. Peter Dinklage before anyone knew who he was.
And also
Jon Favreau.
I believe Tessa Hirsch, shout out to my former compatriot over at ESPN, has this as like number 1 with a bullet. Like there's nothing that tops this.
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot of people out there who love this movie, and I couldn't get there. I came in with an open
it's not
mind.
A shitty movie.
No, it's a good movie.
Yeah, just
but
not on my list.
It didn't get to that pantheon level for me.
Number 1 is actually one that became a tradition in my household because of my sister-in-law. Now I have to watch it every single Christmas Eve. That's why it's similar to Frank's 5 in the Muppet Christmas Carol. I had never really watched it. Now I have to watch it every year, and I've learned to love it. Surprised, no mention of this one either. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. That is my number 1.
Good movie.
Chevy
It is
Chase,
a good movie.
Julie Louis-Dreyfus. I mean, just the classic, all-time classic.
Literally the best vacation movie.
Yes,
I agree.
I think without a doubt. I mean, I've watched it now, Lord knows, like 15, 20 times. Fantastic.
Chevy had the juice back then, man. He was cooking.
Bro.
He was cooking.
Who plays his brother? Cousin Eddie is.
That is Cousin Eddie.
Yeah. Who plays him? The Quaid. Randy Quaid. plays him fantastic by all around. Every time I watch it, I pick up on little things that like are funny each time around. Kid becomes the main character in Big Bang Theory. Just a great cast. Hilarious movie. My number one. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
It is a very good movie.
That's my 5.
I feel like we all did well.
I think we all did well. I think it's all to our own taste. So we all have completely different movies except for Jingle All the Way.
Which we share, all three of us. That's pretty great. I love this.
Shout out to Jingle All the Way.
I will say, no, like, Adam Sandler Hanukkah representation. We really like. It's very Christmas heavy these holidays. Like, it's hard to find some other stuff out there that.
Yeah, Eight Crazy
over.
Nights is like the one Hanukkah movie I think of. Obviously, me having not celebrated Hanukkah.
Are we just forgetting some
movie.
that we've got to? So somebody in
You
the
didn't
chat.
know it was a Hanukkah movie?
No.
What do you think the 8 Nights stands for?
I mean, I get it now. It's very clever.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually had a few
got
of
a few?
y'all's
Okay.
on my honorable
on your
mentions.
honor.
My first 2 was Love Actually, I'm Up at Christmas Carol, Charlie Brown Christmas.
Classic, yeah.
I mean, the soundtrack for it is incredible.
Jack Frost.
Jack Frost, shout out.
Was that Michael Keaton?
Anybody watch Hot Frosty? I know Jordan watched Hot Frosty.
I haven't watched it yet.
Jordan
heard
just groaned.
I've heard it's terrible. I've
He
heard
just went, ugh.
I've heard it's absolutely terrible.
Yes, Jack Frost was Michael Keaton.
It's a Wonderful Life, not my thing. Miracle on 34th
Yeah,
Street,
those never.
not my thing.
Yeah, those never hit
White
for me.
Christmas.
Those never hit for me.
Not my thing. One that I enjoy that is very old, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
yeah.
God,
How about-
Great animation.
Miracle.
Miracle, the
Yeah, the Olympic
hockey
game, yeah.
movie?
What makes you think of Christmas more than ice skating and hockey?
I know, but there's a Miracle on
Christmas
34th Street
movies.
movie that's
Yeah, but
actually a
that's
Christmas
the 34th in the series. Miracle was the first one. You gotta walk before you run, Connor.
Yeah, Miracle on 34th Street. What was your favorite between 2 and 33?
Honestly, one is all I needed.
Yeah, Miracle. And then I have Die Hard is
There's
not a
no
Christmas
hockey
movie.
by the time they got to the 34th one.
Yeah, they'd completely gone to
They
a
just
Santa
switched-
in the
switched-
mall.
I think it's in the
Switch teams.
same thing as like Jason in Space or whatever, where they had outlawed hockey
Yeah.
at some point.
Jason X.
Last 2 notes I had Die Hard, not a Christmas movie, and Christmas Story sucks.
All right.
Those were my last 2 takes.
I like how you're pretty definitive on these.
No
You're
one
just
had
like,
the Santa
the
Claus.
Die Hard.
Which is good because that movie's trash.
Oh, I don't
Which
mind
one
the
is that
Santa
one?
Claus.
Which one is that?
Tim Allen.
Tim
Oh,
Allen.
the Tim Allen
like the
one.
Santa Claus.
No,
What's
I
your-
love
what's
that
your beef with it?
The 2 supporting characters, which is the ex-wife and like her new boyfriend,
Yeah.
are completely like. Not only do they not believe in Santa, they like hate Christmas, and it isn't until that they get their like childhood materialistic gift that they're like, oh yeah, Santa is a real thing. It's like, get out of here. This is not a
outta
good
here.
message. And more bureaucracy and like legalese for kids to worry about. It's Christmas time. Put on some Eyes Wide Shut, have a realistic family time around the fire, and be done with it.
Okay, we have to do some kind of disclaimer at this point because Frank has kept saying that this is a family film and, gather around. Eyes Wide Shut is definitively not a family film. If you are a parent out there, do not show your children Eyes Wide Shut.
When
It
did
is an
this Eyes
adult
Wide
movie.
Shut thing start, Frank? I've never heard you mention it until this year, and now it's just been like nonstop about it.
I mean, literally, if you go back to listening to the MMA Hour, I brought it up every year you've known me.
Shout out to Eyes Wide Shut. Shout out to all the dads in all these Christmas movies. They're like,
always
in
a
like
dad.
the 90s dads Christmas movie, like they're always wearing like a Coogee sweater and they hate Christmas, and then like they get the miracle of everything put on them.
The spirit of Christmas gets into them.
I'll tell you what's not a top 5, Red One. I saw that the other week. That is not a top 5er. Definitely, I won't be seeing that one again.
Okay, but you did say also not like as bad
Not
as,
terrible,
as
yeah.
they have said in the reviews.
Yeah, I just won't be. I won't be seeing it again. I will not be seeing it again. All right, that's the pound for pound list. Frank, did we get any super chats? No.
Super chats. And also, if anybody
did,
has
same.
any like holiday movies that we're not thinking of, especially I'm thinking like if it's not Christmas, because Christmas is such a known and tried and true version of these lists, and all the movies are about Christmas. If you have something else, I'd love to hear from you.
Wow. Who has the best list? Poll just posted 33% each way on 60 votes.
Who was the
A lot
1%?
of Jingle All the Way fans, they're splitting the votes.
We did have super chats, Frankie?
We did.
All right, let's rip them.
Yeah, we are going to rip them.
Oh,
Stalling.
you're chilling in the chat right now, Frank.
What are you talking about?
Holiday parties at 24-inch dubs.
Shout out. So, Snaj 101 sent over 20 pounds. Says, shout out to you, lads. Love the show. When promotions take on ex-UFC fighters near the end of their career, do you think it pays off and they get the eyes they were hoping for? Or is it just desperation from the promotion?
I think it's still smart strategy because, like, if you have only unknowns, I don't think anybody's tuning in for that, right? Like, you don't have enough of a name, you don't have enough of a track record as a promotion that if you're only going with people that nobody has heard of, or prospects or things like that, you can fall into that category of feeling like feeder league, local, regional promotion. You start to play a dangerous game there. If you were somebody who's trying to make a splash, I get why you'd want to look for names that people know of and want to see. I imagine that this question comes on the heels of yesterday's announcement right here on the ArielHelwani YouTube channel, on the ArielHelwani show yesterday, the announcement of the GFL, of the Global Fight League, who is going to be launching in April and having their draft in January. And there is a roster of, what was it? Did they say like 600? There was a 300, 600. There's a lot of fighters that are going to be on that roster. And we revealed some of the names yesterday, and many names that are former UFC, former Bellator fighters that people would know. I think it's the right strategy. I just think you just have to be careful not to make it the only strategy. There has to be enough of an interesting name that's not just somebody that the entirety of the promotion is UFC cast off or Bellator cast off. You want to build people as well.
And a lot of these guys are so late in their careers that it's just like, okay, after one or two fights, it's just like,
yeah,
well,
they're
what's
probably not
next?
fighting anymore.
Like,
anyway.
what's next?
Yeah.
But shout out to Schnaz.
Shout out to Schnaz.
And
I also want to I want to plug that Pizzi tomorrow on the Crack, 1 p.m. Right here on this channel, is going to have Ben Folks and Chuck Mendenhall on with him, and they're going to dive deeper onto the GFL. So tune in tomorrow, 1 p.m. on this channel. The Crack, Pizzi, Chuck, Ben, talking all things GFL as well.
Alex writes in with $2. BDR and GC. We have to stop right there. BDR,
What's BDR?
We don't know.
BDR is something
Big Daddy Rick.
All right, sure. I'll take it.
BDR.
I thought maybe it meant
GC.
something to you.
No.
All right, so BDR and GC, can you rank the UFC 2024 pay-per-views 1 through 14?
Yeah, I'd be happy to do that.
Yeah, we can set that up right now. BDR. Big Dog Rick.
Yeah, let's go.
Bad.
I thought maybe it was a disease.
All right, 297. I will go 14th. UFC 300 is
right,
1. Man, this is a little bit more difficult than I was expecting.
This is more difficult than I thought it's going to be, because then you have to remember what the...
all right, I'm going UFC 300 1. I'm going 308 2. 30.
What the hell is 308? Oh, Topuria and Holloway.
Yeah, Topuria Holloway. 307 3. 303 was also really good. I'll go 303 4. From the bottom, 297 and 301. 299 was also a banger. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do these 1 through 14.
Yeah, it's hard. Sphere doesn't really like make the top half, does it?
Nah, it was just cool that it was at the Sphere. I'd put Sphere like 8.
This is an impossible task for me because I don't have it laid out in front of me.
Yeah, this is super easy.
305 9 and 304 10. There it is.
Do we need a graphic for that?
Yeah. Jordan, whip that up, but I'm gonna just echo Connor's thoughts on that.
All right, what's next?
So then, just wanted to say that Andreas Velasquez and David Furman have joined the...
is that
Velasquez?
Why did you say that so weird?
I have a speech impediment.
Okay.
I appreciate if you would...
His speech impediment makes him pronounce names
I
wrong.
love it.
Frank loved that. Frank was waiting for that.
Oh, God. All right, Andrew Tippett sends in 1999. Have my first BJJ comp this weekend.
Andrew!
The nerves are arising. What pregame rituals, if any, did the crew take part in when younger? GC, try BJJ. I've been doing it for 4 months, and it is addicting.
Wow, Roll Tide. I love how I'm like always the one that's just like forced into fighting. Like no one else is just like GC needs to get in there and start scrapping. I have thought about it. Andrew, good luck, man.
Good luck to Andrew.
That's amazing. I hope the nerves don't get too bad. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to worry about a college football playoff game or anything with the Tide. Sorry you missed out on that one, man. But
Damn.
but best of luck, man. That's amazing. 4 months in, so you started back in August, mid-August, and you're already doing your first competition. That's pretty impressive, man. Best of luck. I hope it goes well for you. I hope you get the dub. And thank you for the super chat, and thank you for watching, man.
What kind of rituals did you have?
Oh yeah, what were the rituals? Oh, just blare rap music in my car.
That was it. Yeah, that's kind of all I before basketball games, I would just put on something hype track.
Up,
yeah.
Robert McAllister sends in £5.
The other thing I'll say before we move on to that one, part of the ritual was the getting dressed for the game.
Yeah.
So there was some ritual to that, as like pull up the socks when I used to wear knee highs, or wear this or do that, and like the putting on the shooter sleeve or do this or that. I never was a shooter sleeve guy, but I had like certain
specific things.
No. Post game rituals when I was a very chubby young man in junior high school. I would, after every game, guzzle 2-liter bottles of grape soda. And if that wasn't available, I would drink a massive Nestle Quick strawberry flavored because I was really health conscious and really like taking care of my body at that time.
2 liters?
No, 1.
Okay,
a 2-liter
grape soda.
Welch's grape. Yeah.
Especially in Georgia. In Texas, we had to wear
post-game fuel, baby.
A dress shirt and tie on game day. Did you guys do that?
Oh, yeah.
No, that's like, how old are you? You're 75?
School. Nah, they did do that around my high school sometimes.
We took football very seriously in Texas.
Speaking of football being taken seriously, my high school in the state championship and number 2 ranked team in the entire country.
Oh, wow.
Shout out to Milt.
When is the championship?
Writes,
I think on Saturday.
All right.
Do we really need Makayev back for Pants to fight? Does anyone think he will actually beat him? Wide gap between last 2 performances of Pants versus Mo.
I don't think it's a need. Definitely not. But do you have a better option? If you got a better option, I'm listening. But like, there ain't shit out there, brother.
Issue. That's the issue. There's just no other options.
Demetrius Johnson definitively said no, and now I've got no other options. I got nothing else in my tank here.
That's all I got.
I don't need it though. But I mean, what else? Yep.
Trin Daddy, celebrating his 1 month, says, Marvel Heroes, any of you fellas jumping into the craze and playing? Hulk Smash, all the love and happy holidays. Merry Christmas, Frank, Rick, GC, Andy, and Jordan, and Ariel, in parentheses. That's cute. Be safe and enjoy.
The inflection in your voice really dropped down when you said, and Ariel. No, I haven't played it yet.
What is it?
How else do you make like a parenthetical reference? You gotta go down.
Marvel Heroes?
Marvel Heroes.
I hear Rivals is supposed to be good.
Is it fun?
I don't know. I haven't played Heroes.
No,
Trent Daddy, tell us if it's any fun. It sounds like
it sounds like it's awesome.
Is it a console game?
Yeah, I think it's a fighting Marvel game. Every power of top 15 Marvel heroes. Okay. All right.
I would probably play as Psylocke from the X-Men. Then.
Oh, shout out Psylocke.
I don't know who's in it, but I've always...
I guess maybe the Marvel heroes, yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Frank. I meant specifically...
Hulk, Thor, Spider-Man, Captain America, Iron Man, looks like the Raccoon.
The Raccoon?
Wait, who's the Raccoon?
The guy from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, for
Wolverine,
real? Oh, shit.
Deadpool, the
Juggernaut.
Thing, Juggernaut.
Omega Red.
I was a huge
Silver
Marvel
Surfer.
versus Capcom player. And
What
Marvel
system?
versus Street Fighter. No, arcade, bro. I'm going to the arcade.
Wow.
And I always used Hulk was in my regular rotation, Wolverine was in my regular rotation, Captain America was in my regular rotation. War Machine was big in my rotation. I played a lot of I picked a lot of Marvel characters, definitely.
Not the Capcom characters.
I did, but I focused. Most of my mains were Marvel characters. So if those guys are in that game, that's how I'd be rocking with. War Machine was a beast. Wolverine was kind of like a hack. Like Wolverine was pretty sick in that game.
Erwin Lopez.
Erwin, shout out.
Ice Cube's Friday After Next is a Christmas movie. It takes place Christmas Eve and goes into Christmas Day.
I don't
disagree with you.
Yeah, I wouldn't combat that.
Shout out,
great
Erwin.
movie.
Great call.
And it wouldn't be a holiday-themed show if Achilles Jr. didn't send in his list. Number 1, Polar Express. Number 2, Nightmare Before Christmas.
Number 1, Polar Express.
Do people like Polar Express? I feel like that's universally despised.
Some people like the Uncanny Valley. They love living in it.
I don't mind Polar Express. I used to get the book read to me all the time.
Just like
movies
last year,
right.
or
yeah, last year my dad
Didn't
sat me
people
down.
hate the CGI of that though? They felt like it was just not.
it was the Uncanny Valley that
he
freaked
said
people
that.
out.
He said that's a true list.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out.
I
That's a good
didn't
list.
finish the list, but
finish it. No, read
Number
it.
3 was Grinch. Number 4, A Christmas Story.
Wonder which Grinch.
Number 5,
Eight
Eight
Crazy
Crazy
Nights.
Nights. No soft rom-coms.
Wow.
Yeah, Achilles Jr.
Hater.
Kido Ki, my top 5. It was
Love
number
it.
1, Nightmare Before Christmas.
Okay.
2, Charlie Brown Christmas.
Shout
3,
out.
The Polar Express. 4, Elf.
Wow,
5,
Polar Express.
Jingle All the
Yeah,
Way.
a lot of love for Polar Express.
Lot
Must
of
be a
love for-
generational thing, or people were trying to show love for like the weird CGI that's happening.
I don't mind it. Like it's fine. It's not my first choice. Elf though, getting on the list. Shout out Elf. Great one.
I think the Polar Express was not good.
Yeah,
I
I
thought
think
it
it's
was
like
fine.
I think
No,
it's
I
like
mean,
panned.
Tom Hanks. You don't think that's a top 5 Tom Hanks
the
film?
movie is rewatch
on.
it as an adult. It's,
Tommy Hanks?
It's weird. Tom Hanks' best movie, Road to Perdition.
No, we
All
did
right,
this already.
so-
Jesus Christ.
Derek the Dad writes in, Frank and Rick shouldn't be allowed to the Yahoo Studios until they watch The Grinch, and I think he means the Jim Carrey one. Also, how did nobody have Christmas with the Cranks on their list?
Yeah.
I don't know Christmas with the Cranks.
I've
Maybe
seen it
I've
one time.
Maybe I've seen.
Someone said in the someone that's
the Tim Allen movie.
yeah, that's also another Tim Allen. Tim Allen loves.
Oh
this one.
wow,
They want to go
Tim
on.
Allen, loving that Christmas.
They want to go on vacation, and then like they get stuck with their kids. I actually think it
Sounds like Home Alone.
It's Tim Allen in
Reverse.
Freaky Friday, Halloween.
Jamie Lee Curtis?
Jamie Lee Curtis. That's her name.
We know her from that and not her other great holiday movie,
Which is
Halloween.
I just said Halloween.
Oh, I missed it. I was too busy reading this from Golit, who writes in, what do you guys think heads 313 in L Las Vegas? Alex Inc?
I don't know.
Onk?
I guess it'd probably be time to bring Alex back,
Alex
right?
Rakonka live? I don't know, man. He just fought in October.
No,
What
October.
else would he put there?
October to March is like 5 months.
Yeah, give him a rest. Let him chill out.
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess what else would it be? It's not going to be Marav, obviously. Could it be Ilya and someone? I guess that's even a shorter comeback time.
Ilya and Volk? No, Ilya said he wanted to take some time off, right? He wants to come back like mid-year.
His coach said he's going up to lightweight.
Yeah,
That's
I
confirmed.
believe that for sure.
Yeah,
for sure, believe that.
It's not going to be Drikas. Could it be Bilal? Bilal Shavkat? Probably not.
Is that I think he needs some more time off,
Yeah.
right? And Shavkat, if he actually has a torn MCL, that'd probably
That's actually not a bad shout. Alex
Yeah.
Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev.
yeah. Let's get it done.
Yeah.
Then it lines up for when the heavyweight picture starts to take shape, and all of a sudden
Yeah.
Pereira sneaks in there. Frank, are we watching Grinch? Is that the?
Yeah, before
Y'all
I
should
come back
watch
to
it, man.
work,
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Rip
I like
City
Jim Carrey.
Blaze, $5. GC, curious if you have any favorite UFC sports cards in your collection. Wonder if Dana pushing the products more will make a difference long term.
Yeah, my favorite is easily, and thank you for the super chat, man. I appreciate you watching as well. My favorite is easily we pulled it one time on the watch party. It is a tie-dye Volkanovski autograph, like 1 of 10.
Sick.
That was probably the best pull I ever had, especially because Volk is one of my favorite fighters.
Was that Topps? Who was making them at that time?
At that time, it was Panini.
Okay.
At that time, it was Panini. My
Shout out.
best Topps pull, I think I got like a midnight Alexa Grasso auto. Yeah, I can't remember my best Topps pull.
Were you like a collector of that stuff when you were a kid?
It was Yu-Gi-Oh when I was a kid.
Oh, so none of the sports cards.
No sports cards, Yu-Gi-Oh. Sold my whole collection of Yu-Gi-Oh cards when I was in like 6th or 7th grade for like $1,300. Had all 5 pieces of Exodia. Shout out. Yeah, I was.
Probably like 50K.
What's crazy now?
I should have saved it.
If
I
you
should have,
save
yeah.
them, that's $100K you're saying.
This is also like a 13-year-old kid getting like $1,500.
Yeah,
I was like, I'll never run out of money again. Yeah, I used to do like tournaments for Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff. I was so into it.
I'm surprised
shout
no
out to
sports
MTG
card though.
next
Just
week.
because shout out MTG. I'm surprised no sports cards just because like you are such a sports fan. I would have assumed.
I like kind of got into them, but the one that really stuck was Yu-Gi-Oh and
Wow.
Pokemon when I was young too.
Jason Carney has actually gifted 5 Helwani shows.
Hey,
go,
shout out, Jason.
Gotta love it. Then JJ8823 period writes in, new mythical character unlocked. Trap House Rick.
Yeah, Trap House Rick.
I loved it. It was like I would put 2 floors. It was always a 2-floor house. Did I ever make a 3? I might have made some 3s. And I'd rearrange the different traps. I'd come up with new traps. Oh, there's a spike thing that shoots up and crushes them. Maybe a little twisted, maybe a little sick in the head. I don't know. I'll let a psychologist analyze what I was doing there.
Anything else, Frankie?
That is all.
Oh, good way to end it. Perfect. Love that.
That is a good way to end it. Elijah One Dream says, "Look out, Bobby Shmurda."
Shout out.
I saw someone in the chat, Masters of the Universe Classic, asked if I'm going to watch the new Wallace and Gromit. Is there a new Wallace and Gromit?
I didn't know there was, yeah.
If there is, I will watch it. I can guarantee
That was on your Halloween.
Those are great.
Wallace and Gromit is my shit. Rudolph, shout out. Oh, someone did mention, Dylan D'Alessio mentioned that On could potentially have Ramadan.
No, but isn't that pre?
I actually don't know.
I think that's like right before Ramadan.
Rick, oof.
March 10th
Well, indigestion
there.
there.
March
Slow
10th
indigestion.
to April 9th.
Rick is giving me Nico Bellic vibes. I don't know who the fuck that
Oh,
is.
sorry. That was incorrect, according to On Air Jordan. It's February.
Nico Bellic from GTA. Yeah,
Is that that's the main guy?
Yeah, I can kind of see it. GFL's roster is bulk of Ali's clients. That's from Pirate Hunter. That's a super chat.
I mean, Ali has a lot of clients, and also
so,
there's a lot of fighters who are not Ali. Like it was a pretty massive roster. Yeah.
Elijah One Dream. Shout out to GC. Shout out to Elijah One Dream. Flip that one on you. Gromit. I think they're making fun of the way we pronounced Gromit. Masters of the Universe says yes. A new one called Avengers Most Foul is called. Yeah, I'll have to watch that. I will be watching that this weekend.
Before you watch Batman Returns.
Oh, actually, it comes out January 3rd. Oh, this is amazing. We kick off the new year right.
Should we get tickets now?
No, it's on
IMAX?
Netflix. It's on Netflix. You can finally come see my new house.
Yeah, man, I think I'm busy that day.
GC resemble Garam Kuta Taladze. That's from Dylan D'Alessio. I've never heard that before. No one has ever told me that.
Frank,
that's
the
actually
music?
a good point. That's a good point. Breaking news here on the
Breaking
program.
news.
I look similar to that one bald white fighter with a beard. All right. I think that just about does it here. 2 hours and 5 minutes on a UFC Tampa weekend?
Light.
Listen to that, man. Where did I get that suit? Young LA. I got it from Young LA, specifically from my guy Gavin Luking. One more full body look at this thing. Oh, yeah. I mean, look at this. This looks like...
Do I need to get up too? What do you think?
A cigarette if I'm going to have this thing. Ah, yeah. You see it on the streets of New York. I'm fucking walking here. Yeah.
Don't forget to watch The Crack tomorrow. Friday, 1 p.m. Pizza.
Whole slate Ariel, Helwani show.